anyone who quote tweets the space, we will retweet the quote tweet. And let's try and get as many people in here as possible. So yeah, I think Andy made an excellent point that how did this guy get in? I mean, there is reports that this was in the lobby. So we don't know how far he got. The video definitely you can hear. There are gunshot sounds. I will play the video as well so you can hear it. There is definitely gunshot sounds on the video. So yeah, let's see what happens. This is huge news, breaking news. Like stream. Okay, that's a bit sorted finally. Hopefully people on YouTube can hear. YouTube guys, well, the one person that's on there at the moment. If you can let me know if you can hear it. Hopefully I can see Doc in here. Let's get Doc up as well. Okay, I'm gonna be checking the news for information. This was quite surprising news, to be honest. I was too busy like researching for like a video I was gonna make tomorrow on Substack, and then I just saw this and I was like, wow, what is going on here? This is crazy. Okay, Doc, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. How are you?
Good. I was kind of bored sitting here watching some old TV, and I wasn't quite sure if this was another space invite or an old one. Now to find out that what someone tried to shoot at Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Question mark.
Yeah, there's been a shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Photo the Trump has been evacuated after the gunshots were heard. The President Trump was evacuated from the ballroom after the gunshots were heard. Attendees were crouched on the table and the room was sealed. The shooter has been confirmed dead. This is according to multiple media outlets. Trump and his cabinet were evacuated. Neither the president nor the vice president were injured. Secret Service agents quickly responded after shots rang out, leaped onto dais, and escorted the president away from the ceasefire. I believe the shooter is also dead. I repeat, I believe the shooter is also dead. That is the latest we've got at the moment. Obviously, we're going to continue giving you this information as and when we receive it, but huge news at the moment.
Does this sound legit to you? Just on the face of it, the timing, an event like the White House Correspondents' Dinner, to get into that, you absolutely would have had to gone through metal detectors. Your name would have been triple check. You know, they would have had the Secret Service in there for days securing the property. You know, I'm sorry. You know, back in the last administration, whoever it was, the Secret Service got just reamed under Biden because we had, well, not that this is necessarily indicative of anything other than the fact that we had a female head of the Secret Service for the first time. And at one point, there was someone who broke into the White House past a female Secret Service agent who was supposed to be guarding that entrance. So, with the security that the feds and the Secret Service can bring, you know, this takes me back to those people that I didn't believe at the time, who thought the first assassination attempt was fake, the one where he got allegedly shot in his ear. Um, they need to turn and change the narrative that we talked about earlier, the narrative, the political narrative here in America, because Trump and anyone affiliated with him, including those politicians who are counting on his endorsement and the support that Trump's popularity used to mean, we're counting on him. So, how do you feel sorry for Trump again? Well, maybe you pretend to kill him again.
Just want to welcome Myron onto the stage as well. Myron, hope you're doing well. How are you?
Yo, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. No, I just obviously I was literally gonna get off stream, and like I see that there said shots were fired at the White House Correspondents' meeting, and I was like, what, or dinner? So just kind of trying to see what's going on. I'm hearing all types of conflicting stories. Some people are saying the guy got shot. Some people said the guy got captured. I'm not really seeing too much stuff going on. Apparently CNN was covering it, but when I looked at CNN, I don't see it anywhere.
Yeah, I read he got captured, but I'm same with you. I actually shut the space down, shut the YouTube stream down, and literally got off. And I was just doing some research for my video tomorrow. And then next thing I know, I flip and see it, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And need to really spark up the space immediately. But yeah, what we know is Trump's safe. We know JD Vance is safe. The shooter is confirmed dead according to CNN.
Wait, is he captured or dead?
Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. The president is safe. JD Vance is safe. So no one was injured. He was apparently in the ballroom. We're starting to see some videos coming out right now of the shooting, or basically when the shooting was occurring. But yeah, this is major news. How would, just from your experience, Myron, how would the shooter have even got into the lobby? I thought there'd be extreme security and extreme situation where none of this would have been allowed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a problem. You know, and you would think with what happened last time with Butler that they'd be a little bit more cautious, especially since we're in the middle of a conflict right now, and this war is very unpopular. That they would heighten security. The Secret Service agents got on stage pretty quickly, but yeah, that's definitely a breakdown there when it comes to security measures. Like that's kind of crazy. He even made it that close.
But like, how can there be a breakdown on security when you had two attempted assassinations on Donald Trump? You had, as you said, a very unpopular war. You had the assassination of Charlie Kirk. There's been major incidences. How can they? How can you be in a situation where you would even have lax security?
Yeah, I mean, just irresponsible. I mean, the Secret Service also, people got to understand, they're severely understaffed. I've done Secret Service protection details before. They rely heavily upon other law enforcement agencies to help augment their force. So, typically the closer you get to the president, and the more is going to be Secret Service dominant detail. When it comes to like perimeter security and everything else like that, they rely a lot on county sheriffs, local police officers, maybe uniform division. They're in DC, so I'm assuming maybe uniform division was there. But they typically spend more time around the White House. But yeah, I mean, this is exactly kind of like what happened with Butler. They relied upon the locals to kind of handle the outside perimeter, and that's how that guy was able to get on the roof. So this is, yeah, Secret Service has very bad, a very serious staffing issue, and they've always had this issue. They can't retain agents. They have one of the highest attrition rates. Them, U.S. Marshals, etc. They're the most divorced agency. Work-life, family balance is very difficult. It's like an agent. It's a job that you want to have as a single guy, not necessarily as an older guy with a family.
Okay, and what's the I mean, I'm looking at it now. We have obviously got the shots fired at the White House correspondents and the people screaming at bystanders to tell them to get back. What's I mean, this is I mean, it was in a closed arena, in a closed area, right? This is diametrically different to, for example, what happened in Butler and these various other incidences. So how could someone even have got through with a gun in that specific situation? I know you said it's a failure, but even with a gun?
Well, you can. I don't know what kind of weapon he was caught with, but it's fairly easy to conceal a weapon. If any, you can easily conceal, a full capacity handgun, right, in your waistband, no problem. So I don't think it's that hard to conceal, but there was definitely some type of security breakdown for him to make it that far. But like I said before, the Secret Service relies a lot upon other agencies to do outside perimeter, because they've had staffing issues for so long. They can barely keep agents around.
But wouldn't they go through metal in
I
that?
can't hear Doc. I don't know. Is he lagging for you
Yeah,
guys
Doc,
too
you're
or
rubber
no?
banding a little bit. You weren't for before, but you are now.
One more time. Any better?
But it's
No.
really too early to tell. So like, I always try to reserve, uh, you know, like, definitive commentary until like we get all the facts. But obviously, this is literally minutes into the situation, so we'll have to see once we figure out who this guy was. Because who knows? He might have been a rogue employee that had access. Who knows, right? So we won't really know until a little bit more time passes. We figure out who this dude is.
Yeah, that's what we have to find out. Apparently, they are saying, okay, heavily armed service agents rushing towards the lobby of the Washington Hilton Hotel following shots fired. The Secret Service is now sweeping the arena to look for whether there are accomplices or whether there is a second shooter. So that's something that's happening. Within the lobby, we're now hearing that President Trump will be returning to the stage at the White House dinner after shots were fired. So they're saying that the White House Correspondents' Dinner is going to continue. That is
I heard that too.
Sorry?
That he's gonna go back. No, I heard that too. That he's gonna go back.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah, Trump doesn't want to look weak, so I'm not surprised that he's going back.
yeah, okay, okay. But then at the same time, it probably wasn't as much of a big issue as well. What do you think? Like, why would you go back? Like, for example, after Butler, he didn't go back. He actually got shot, right? So,
Yeah, well, you can see they had to drag him off the stage. So it happens, but well, we'll see, man. Time will tell. I'm interested to see who this guy was. That will probably give us a lot more insight as to how he was able to do this or pull this off. But yeah, I think it's confirmed now that he was shot and neutralized, right?
yeah, yeah, that's what CNN are reporting. Obviously, CNN could be wrong, but at the moment, yeah, CNN are reporting that he was shot. We are getting images of Mike Johnson, who was evacuated by his Secret Service or his security team as well. So that's the latest in that as well. So I mean, obviously you've not had a chance to look at this, Myron. You did the kind of, I mean, this was kind of your job role. What USA events? I felt like the security was a bit more lax this time, but I remember the one I went to before. It was like very, very stringent. You couldn't even get anywhere without, multiple checks and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, we won't know until we know who this guy is. That will give us a lot more information. Like, did he have a past? Did he know somebody? Was he some, person that might have had access to this building? We'll have to wait and kind of see who this guy is, and I think that will shed us a lot more insight as to what's actually going on. Still too early to tell. I'll mute myself and I'll kind of do a little bit of research and see what I can find and come back.
Yeah, because that'd be good to get your insight on like what the perimeter was, what the different checks you were meant to do.
Yeah, I could do that. I'll do that right now.
All those different things is going to be very important to know, especially as the day goes on and we find out more information about the shooter. We have got images of the attendees. Thank you for that, Myron. Attendees scramble to take over to cover. Sorry, we have visuals of attendees scrambling to take cover after the gunman opened fire. By the way, I'm told Grant Cardone, if you know Grant, is on our space at times. Apparently, he's at the dinner as well, so maybe we could get him in. We need to get Gary to hook us up, as one would say. But yeah, this is a false uprising situation. I have got my various things open, but yeah, this is happening right now. Yeah, go
can I
ahead,
ask a question?
Yes.
Oh, Myron jumped off. I was just wondering how much sense it makes if the room is actually not secure. Why would he be going back when there's a breach? Like protocol to me would say that you would not go back. You need to find out what the fault in your security was, and you wouldn't be returning back to the dinner right now, unless this is to gather support for the war, and the guy's going to wind up being an Iranian agent. Because that's all that comes to mind. Because there is no way in hell you would send the president back to that when there's something wrong with your security team. That makes zero sense whatsoever. Zero. And I
When
wish
you
Myron
say
was
there's
here.
nothing wrong with the security team, do you mean in the sense of, oh my God, Beatrix? Uh, when you say that, do you mean in the context of this individual may have links to the security team, or do you mean in the context of
I
what
mean,
was
in
the
the
other context?
context, everything is possible because you don't know the answer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
but when I get that, good sir. But what I mean by that is, specifically, is it that or the fact that there was such a serious security lapse and he was able to get through security?
no, I really mean in any sense, they would need to evaluate how this person got in, right? They're not going to do that in a half hour, right? So how is Trump going back into that room when he doesn't know if he can trust his security team right now, or that the room is secure? He doesn't know because they don't know what caused this guy to get in. The fact that he's going back to me shows that um, you know this seems as fake as Butler already, because why is he going back to an unsecured room?
We now have the first video out, new footage. I'm just, sorry, I'm typing this as I'm speaking. Footage shows Secret Service jumping on President Trump following shots fired at the dinner. Let's just make a bit more sure. Following footage shows Secret jumping on Trump to protect him after shots fired. Obviously, we need more information on who the shooter is after shots fired. I know many people in this panel are maybe what's the right word? Skeptical about what's going on. That being said, I do want to continue reporting it as it's going on because I understand the skepticism. I'm not saying I disagree with it, but that being said, I do want to continue giving the news as per the normal news information. And of course, panelists can give their thoughts and their ideas and positions if they do so. And we have got a couple of super chats. One says Grant Cardone just tweeted about being at the dinner. He's there as a speaker. Thanks. Yeah, we'll try and get him on. Why can't we say shooter identified as the third Soleimani niece? No comment on that. No comment. I think that's too soon, personally. But I mean, I know it's 2026. This is what the kids keep telling me. The Cool says, this is all fake and gay. Can we stop believing the line US government? Trump is Hollywood guy. He just wants to rile the people up. Well, this is going to be the question. I think if it ends up being, like, if they end up claiming that this is a, what do you call it again? If they end up claiming that this is like an Iranian guy, do you not think that this will be a bit more harder to believe? People are gonna think it's fake. Like, there's no way they're gonna say that, right? Joa.
I think the comment was true. This is fake and gay, right? And I think they'll claim anything. They tried to pass it on before that the guy from Butler was Iranian, right? That it was an Iranian plot. So
Okay, we have some more information. The shooter charged the magnetometer close to the front door at the White House Correspondents' Dinner and shot at the uniformed Secret Service. So that's the latest on that. So the shooter did charge at um, the shooter charged at what was it, the magnetometer and sorry, charge the magnet close to the door. Okay, this is yeah, this is the latest. Obviously, let me just quickly check any more information. And then I want to hear from what Casey's got to say, and who else? Anybody else who's on the panel as well? Do come in.
Zina's just tagged me into a post, Human Rights for Pal. You can come up, Zina, if you want, on the panel. We'll bring you up. Zina Suleiman, if you can see the mic request. Zina says that I was at the protest last year. They were quite large in front, with holograms projected outside the hotel, and access was quite easy. That's what Zina's saying.
Cool. Trump is.
And apparently, I'm reading that Erica Kirk was evacuated by Secret Service. I hope she's not going to make this whole thing about herself. But
Oh
anyway,
my
yeah.
God, come on. Don't attack her. She's an innocent victim.
Yeah, they're already saying that, oh my God, can you imagine what she was feeling in that moment? The flashback she was
True,
having.
true. Great point, great point. Um, I just saw some more piece of news and I kind of lost it now. Where was it? What was it? Okay, Trump is still inside the Washington Hilton Hotel. Now they're saying they're not sure if the event will resume. Joa, I don't know if your comments have made them change their mind or what happened, but the event is not now continuing, Joa. That girl, he wouldn't be saying this if it was MBZ, would he? Anyway, go ahead, that girl.
Hey, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm on like my Bluetooth. Am I coming
That
in
girl, can you hear me?
clear? Can you hear me? Oh man.
Okay, let's go. Andy, you got your hand up?
Yeah, you already
Can
had. Yeah,
anybody hear
you
me?
have. Yeah, I do. Cernovich posted, quote tweeted one of his old posts where he was saying that escalator stopping at the UN was a dry run for the next assassination attempt. So they're already trying to spin up some narrative of, oh, it's the globalists trying a plot. They're already trying to spin up a narrative, but just something about this doesn't feel right. Like, just his approval was in the gutter. And then they've already been pulling up the narrative that an attack's coming. Oh my God, with DHS defunded by the Democrats, something could happen. So then they're going to use this to try to push us back into this right versus left narrative. Then they're going to say if Democrats just funded DHS, this wouldn't have happened. We would have been able to track these threats. They're going to use this to bring us back into a right versus left paradigm instead of a Zionist versus anti-Zionist paradigm, and that's where I think this is headed. They're going to say, if Democrats just did their job and funded DHS, then we would have been able to track this threat and stop it from happening. And then they're going to get everyone going at the Democrats instead of the Zionists.
Erica Kirk removed by security at the front of uh,
Told you,
the
she's going to make it all
event.
about herself.
Erica, she hasn't made it about herself. Erica Kirk, breaking Erica Kirk, removed by security at the front of the event. Thank God she's safe. Quote, the look on her face. This is a quote from Fox News because she was a guest of Fox News. They said, the look on her face. Clearly, she must have been going back to the moment in Utah. Not a great situation to be in by Erica Kirk. Obviously, we continue to give you the information as and when we receive it. Let me quickly read these two super chats. For years, Trump refused to attend this, and when he does, there is a shooter. What are the odds? X commas. The cool. By the way, guys, CIA does this all the time. They will recruit someone just to end up sacrificing them for their little theater. That's the fake, real intent. Okay, the entire panel is completely uh, not agreeing with what's going on. They think this is a charade. Let's go to that girl. I'm trying to bring you up. Oh, that's funny. Maze, jump in.
Suleiman,
Yeah.
just some news. Fox News is saying that the White House Correspondents Association dinner has officially ended. So he's not going back. He did go back. They said he will return to the podium, but 10 minutes later, they've said it's officially ended.
They realized it's for their safety. They realized that Joa was spewing propaganda and how he's not going back, Joa. Any thoughts or comments on your claims
No,
against?
I
Oh, one
said
second,
if
one
he
second, one
went
second.
back,
I got Grant Cardone here. Grant, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. You were at the speakers event. What have you got any ideas or thoughts on what happened?
Well, all I can say is Donald Trump has the work ethic and beast mode of someone I've never seen. He worked all day at Mar-a-Lago at a conference. I spoke. I was two or three speakers before him, and then they take the two beast limos that were parked right outside of Mar-a-Lago, whisks him off to the Donald Trump airport, Palm Beach Airport. He got on Air Force One, flew to the D.C. thing, put his tux on, went into the room to do dinner tonight. I mean, who can do this? And he's going to return after the shooter was taken. He's going to return to the dinner and be there tonight.
Is that confirmed, Grant? Because we're hearing
Yes, it is. It
conflicting
is.
reports.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Okay, and what happened in the incident? You were there, you were in the event. What happened? You had some shots fired. What actually
No, no,
was
no,
the?
no, no. I wasn't. No, I'm not. No, he's been in Florida and DC in one day, is what I'm saying to you.
Ah, you were with him in DC,
No, I
but
was
did
with him.
sorry,
I
you were
was with
in
him.
Florida. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. And then he got in his beast limos, two of them, and he goes off to. I mean, he finished speaking at 2:30. It's 7 o'clock. He's sitting down for dinner. There's a
Ah,
superhuman abilities to do this, and now he's going to return to dinner after there was a shooting. And I imagine he wants to. He's insisting on being at the dinner tonight.
okay, okay. We're gonna have to wait and see if he is at the dinner. This is gonna be very, very interesting. I know what you're saying. I did hear the report that you said that he is gonna be at returning, but now we're hearing alternative reports um, that the dinner may be closed now because of
No, the dinners.
heightened
They're all loading up.
security.
They're loading up for the
Um,
dinner right
they're
now.
not threats, but basically in the event of security. But we'll see. With the obviously, this is why we're giving the information. So you met him earlier on today in Florida. What were the circumstances of the meeting?
It was great. It's packed room. A lot of great
You said you were a
speakers.
speaker, right?
Yeah, I was a speaker there. Kathy Woods was there. Tim Draper, um,
Guys, can
the
everybody hear me?
founder of Tether. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm
We can
resetting.
hear
You
you,
need to reset
Grant. We
the
just
sound.
can't hear Suleiman. He needs to recycle. Do continue, Grant. I'll just let Suleiman know he needs to recycle.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I was just going through the speaker lineup.
Do you know any details about the shooting, Grant? Was it inside the room? Was it outside?
From what I'm seeing, it was in the lobby. I'm not in DC, so I'm not there, but it was in the lobby. Wolf Blitzer actually saw the shooter, and Wolf Blitzer, the journalist from CNN, was jumped on by a policeman to protect himself because he was within vision and sight of the shooter. There's two reports. One, the shooter's been taken, and another report that the shooter's dead.
Yeah, the report from the shooter being dead is from CNN. I'm not sure what the report is that he's taken, but yeah, I did hear that Marin did come on earlier and said that the shooter has been taken. We're obviously giving you guys the latest news as and when we receive it. We are looking through multiple sources. Um, Okay, let me see if there's any more news. Yeah, I mean, there were reports earlier that Trump was going to be returning back to stage. Trump's just made a Truth Social post, and he says, quote, quite an evening in DC Secret Service and law enforcement, quite an evening in DC Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended. Okay, so they're saying the shooter has been apprehended. And I have recommended that we, quote, let the show go on, but will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly, regardless of what that decision is, in the evening. Regardless of that decision, the evening will be much different than planned, and we'll just plain have to do it again. President Donald J. Trump. So Trump immediately coming out with a tweet giving us actually the real information about what's going on. So it seems like the shooter isn't dead. The shooter has been apprehended, and they're 50-50 about whether the show is going to be going on. So that's the latest news, guys. Retweet the space, reshare the space, let everybody know we're live. Let's try and get as many people in here as possible. That girl, Casey, will jump in with your thoughts.
Suleiman, I've just got some
Okay.
news. Fox News are saying that the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting suspect attempted to charge the metal detectors at the venue entrance, and that's where he was shot at by Secret Service.
Cool. Um,
That changes things a lot, though, because then there wasn't a flaw in the security. It was before the security started, and they got him at the perimeter, right? That's what it seems like. Because if he
yeah.
charged the metal detectors, very different situation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That
But
girl
then
jump
it is
in.
Fox News saying it, Joa. So we have to wait for that verification, right?
Well, somebody was shot dead. It might not have been him, but it looks like that the U.S. Secret Security may have shot a person who opened fire. I'm trying to hunt that down because they're still reporting that somebody was shot dead. It might not be him, and I don't even know if it was. Yeah, I'll continue to see what I
Wall
find.
Street Journal is saying that a guest says she heard three loud bangs she believed were gunfire and saw a man fall in front of her carrying what appeared to be a rifle and magazines. Now, if she was a guest and she says that happened in front of her, I'm assuming she was inside. Um,
Well, as of 2 minutes ago, this is from CBS News. The title is Trump evacuated from White House Correspondents' Dinner after shots fired. Gunman shot and killed. This is as of 2 minutes ago. So interesting. Let me continue looking.
mm. Apparently, this is the same hotel where John Hinckley Jr. tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan in 1981. Um, Interesting. Casey, jump in, love.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm actually out at is my background noise like extremely
Yeah, no, we can
annoying?
hear you now.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you guys for revving up the space right back immediately. Everybody, we share the space, guys. Hit the like button on the stream. So yeah, I just happened to come online and I heard this, and I don't know about this whole. I mean, everything has to be confirmed. The fact that the person was shooting outside at the metal detector. I mean, it's a good story, but I'm sorry, I'm extremely cynical about a lot of things. One thing I will say is, I'm glad nobody, I'm glad like regular people just weren't killed or whatever or whatever. Not sure the background story about this. And I don't know that we'll ever get the full real answer.
Casey, just one
Yeah.
second. I'm sorry to interrupt you. The Fox News White House correspondent said, um, a source tells me one shooter is down. He said that 6 minutes ago. And then 1 minute ago, he said, announcement in the room, the program will continue shortly. Dinner will be served. So this is the White House Correspondents' Dinner reporter who's saying that the program will continue shortly. Dinner will be served. Go ahead, Casey.
Yeah, see, the thing about that is it's like, when they're saying one shooter has been shot, the fact that they're just quickly saying that they're resuming the dinner is still very concerning to me because what if there's more than one shooter and, the other shooters got in, like you just don't know what this plot is about. Like all right, we know in the back of our mind what we're thinking, right? But for the moment, I get it, Suleiman, you're reporting on this as if it's, we're getting minute by the minute news, and thank you for the updates. Why would you continue to go on with the dinner regardless? Like, because you wouldn't know the full plot, right? So maybe there's more than one shooter and everything hasn't been let off yet. So I don't know. And then if it was outside, when you're looking at the footage, this is the last thing I'm gonna say because I'm just, being aware of my background. But if it was outside, you could see the people inside the dinner, like, they look like they were shaking almost like as if they heard it. So I don't know how far it is from the outside to the inside of where this dinner is happening, but you can see the people like visibly shaking as if they heard the shot. So I'm still a little, for me, it's still kind of unconfirmed where actually this took place. But back to you guys, and yeah, I'll just be looking through for some updates myself.
I have some
Okay.
You know what
answers for
this
that.
I've
Oh,
got some breaking news. Trump is in a secure location and he told officials that he intends to return to the dinner, but Fox News is saying that he won't be attending the dinner. So we're hearing conflicting reports. So the reports are some saying he's dead, others, as you know, Trump is saying he's alive and he's apprehended. Other people seem to suggest that there may be two shooters, one dead, one apprehended. That's the latest news. Let me just give you some more latest news. Um, yeah, the
there's a re-
one guest is saying that they heard three shots fired, three loud bangs. She believed were gunfires and saw a man falling in front of her, carrying what appeared to be a rifle and a magazine. This has been reported according to the Wall Street Journal. The also there is claims that there is an announcement and the program will continue, but again, we're hearing what you call it, conflicting reports pertaining to that as well. Beatrix, you had something?
Yeah, I did. Where's it gone? Yeah, not breaking, but strange. That Caroline Levitt, the White House spokesperson, she was interviewed before this whole thing at the beginning of the correspondence dinner, and she said there will be some shots fired in the room tonight. There's a clip of her on Fox
I saw
News,
that. I saw that. I was just posting that right now before you said it.
and she says she called on everyone to watch tonight because Donald Trump will bring the heat and there will be shots fired. Like, what the hell is going on? I never thought I would say the words, but the words are Jonah is right. Casey, you know what you were saying? It gives me the vibes of do you remember that other assassin, quote unquote, big alleged assassination attempt on him? And the next day, man was out playing golf like nothing had happened, no secret services, nothing. So let's just say this is genuine. Somebody came in and shots were fired and they killed him. I don't know how many people are at that White House Correspondents' Dinner, but I would assume quite a lot. They'd want to do a sweep of the area first. They'd want to sweep everybody. They'd want to check everyone. They'd want to check the toilets. They'd want to check every corner of that place before they allowed it to go back on. Like, this is Secret Services and this is the President of the United States of America. Even we wouldn't stay in a place where somebody'd come in with a freaking gun. You know what I mean? We'd want to be like, get the hell out of here. So something really dodgy going on here.
Yeah,
Might
I
as well buy
agree.
it.
I agree with you, Beatrix. I'll just say real quick, just to add on. That's what I mean. It's like at this point, if shots are fired, this is the president of the United States of America. Everybody becomes not to say like a suspect, but I mean, we come on, regular folk like us, layman people who've watched enough true crime to know we need to shut this thing down and figure out why is this happening? Like, how is it happening? And anybody in there could be accomplice to anything. But it's like, oh, the show goes on. Everybody's just gonna eat dinner. This is even to make that announcement, whether it happens or not, but to be quick to make that announcement is very irresponsible, and it just almost again gives a sign of some sort of preemptive understanding that everything is okay. I just don't understand how you come up with everything being okay in the next 5 minutes. It just makes absolutely no sense to me.
Because he's the man that's going to fix America. That's why everything's going to be okay. He's Superman. Go ahead, Maze.
Okay, so I'm seeing multiple reports that he is in fact dead. I'm still trying to get some more information about him. What I did think was interesting when you brought up Erica Kirk and her, making it all about her. The reason why that would apply a little bit is because there was two, I think maybe three. I know for sure two events that she did not attend in the past 2 weeks, one of which has JD Vance there in Georgia. And her excuse was, which was later revealed by the same guy that stole the camera down, Andrew, I think Colvett, or maybe not the
Yeah,
guy that
COVID. Yeah.
he's the PR guy. Basically said that she had been receiving serious death threats, and that, basically those were the reasons why she didn't go. But then later, Secret Service, which is there for JD Vance, comes out and says, well, we didn't hear anything about that. And I just thought it was kind of
Breaking news,
interesting.
breaking news. We've now got the first. Actually, let me put in the nest. I forgot that we are not putting in the nest. We now have the first image of the shooter. We have the first image of the shooter that tweets in the nest. But we now have the first image of the shooter. It seems like he's laying down. It seems like he's being apprehended in that image. Seems to have some kind of foil around him. But yeah, that's the first image, the tweet in the nest. We now have the first image of
What
the.
was he? Was he naked, Suleiman, when he goes and shoots? Like, what's going on here in this picture?
Joa, what is wrong with you? This is a serious situation.
Oh, it's not serious when a guy goes and attempts to apparently shoot Trump, but Trump wouldn't even been in the room. People were still coming in. apparently. Like, so this guy went in to go kill him, and then, while people were still going in, of course Trump wouldn't have been in the room. That makes no sense. Then it does, security doesn't matter. Let's go and resume the event. That would be the first time in history. The only other time in history was in 1912, when I already looked this up. Teddy Roosevelt decided to finish an event after being shot at. And all he did was finish his speech because he wasn't done, but the event did get cut short. So never has an event continued after someone an attempt, not even at the person, just shooting outside the building, right? Because then you show there's a perimeter problem. So a lot of this just doesn't make sense. Plus, this is the first time in, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 at 6 attempts that he finally goes to a correspondent dinner. Right, first time he ever goes, decides to have it, and it just so happens to have an assassination attempt. Like, just a lot of this just
Just
makes
so
zero
happens
sense.
that Caroline Levitt says shots will be fired tonight.
Oh, let
Right,
me put that in
Jonah?
the nest. Let me put that in the nest. I tweeted that out. That's content. 1 second. Obviously, I'm the more serious person on this space, but I did tweet that one out. 1 second. Let me put it in the nest.
And it was going to
Okay.
be horrible to begin with. It doesn't even have a comedian. The
Who?
first time ever that there's no comedian at a correspondent dinner. He was going to
Well,
have a
are you trying to
mentalist.
take the role right now, Joa? Because there's a serious event and you're telling us about all these conspiracy theories.
I didn't give you any conspiracy theory, but the guy's naked on the ground, and he's the one that apparently shot at him. What do you go over there with? What do you shoot
Okay,
with?
Joa. Okay, let me rephrase this whole entire conversation. Let me help you out. Pretend this is an assassination attempt on MBZ. Now, have that tone. The Homeland Security Secretary, McWayne Mullen, just walked by a group of reporters and said yes when asked if the president was okay. Hexter looked stricken, was cutting a path through the mobbed hallway of the Hilton just now, descending deeper into the bowels of the hall, is what the statement is. Anthony Giuliani, a Secret Service spokesman, said in a statement that on social media that the agency was working within the DC Police Department to investigate a shooting incident near the main magnetometer screening area, basically the magnetic area, trying to get in there. I did see something about one of me. Oh, there's so much news coming out. And then we have the announcement within the situation that says, please, this is the statement by, okay, let me get this. I'll get the statement for the thingy, but they said, please take your seats, a voice announced over the loudspeaker. Dinner service will resume shortly. So it seems like that is going to continue. Back to whomever was speaking.
So,
Who
this
wrote
Anthony
magnetometer? Sorry.
Guglielmi, I sent you his statement, Suleiman, if you check, because I'm sending you stuff. What he says is the US Secret Service, in coordination with the Metropolitan Police Department, is investigating a shooting incident near the main magnetometer screening at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Then he says the President and the First Lady are safe along all protectees. One individual is in custody. So he doesn't say they've been killed. He says is in custody. And he says the condition of those involved is not yet known. So I don't know if that means the one in custody or the one that they shot. And he says, and law enforcement is actively assessing the situation.
So
And
some
he
more
is,
statements. There is heavy police presence outside the Washington Hilton, but no security screening is required to enter the hotel. There were numerous pre-parties hosted on blah blah blah. Okay, so yeah, they're saying that the security was a bit lackadaisical. Some attendees attempting to leave the ballroom were told by law enforcement that they could not do so because the perimeter of the hotel has now been secured. So some people want to leave and they're like, "No, you can't leave. You got to stay here." This isn't a great situation to be in right now if you
I thought they
decided
only
to
did that
go
in
to the
Dubai,
event.
Soliman.
Huh?
I thought they only did that in Dubai. You weren't allowed to leave.
Caroline Levitt just tweeted out 1 minute ago, President Trump will deliver a statement in the White House briefing room. So he's not going back to the dinner. He's going to the White House briefing room. And he's just done a statement, Suleiman. President Trump's just put a statement out and he says, law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises consistent with protocol. which we will do immediately. I'll be giving a press conference in 30 minutes from the White House press briefing room. The First Lady plus the Vice President and all cabinet members are in perfect condition. We will be speaking to you in half an hour. I've spoken with all the representatives in charge of the event, and we will be rescheduling within 30 days. He's going to stretch this out, isn't he, until the midterms? But anyway, let me see what else there is. There's a lot of news coming out, guys. A lot of news. But just while we're looking at the news, Maze, were you speaking when we jumped in?
Yeah, I was. I think I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say. It wasn't. It wasn't any. It was about Erica Kirk and it. Her actually missing stuff because of it. But then the Secret Services did not acknowledge her claims about there being a serious threat. But with this, I'm trying to get. Like the last thing that I want is for them to try to pin this on some Iranian. You know what I'm saying? And like finding all these other backup excuses to be able to like do what they're doing. Because that narrative, obviously has already emerged with the golf course incident. And so I think, that's why I was staring at Sully's picture, trying to zoom all the way in. But the guy looks like he's got a ponytail. I can't really tell what's going on. But if you guys do,
It's the
if
guy's
anybody,
foot, Maze. It's someone's foot from behind. It's not a ponytail.
oh, okay. So you saw that too. You must have zoomed in. But yeah, if anybody does find out, if you guys are all researching, tag me and, tag Sully and Beatrix and Joa, everybody, anybody, so that we can find out who this person is. Dying to know.
Let's be clear real quick, Maze, too. Even if the person comes out to be like some redneck from like and I'm not, talking about rednecks, but it doesn't matter what the person even looks like at this point. They could be anybody from anywhere. They could be a Haitian
Rand
and they
Paul
will
just
still
came
make
out
it
with a
to Iran.
statement and said, "Thank God the president is safe." He said, "Thank God the president and all the attendees tonight are safe." Back to you, Casey.
Just
Yeah,
Casey, before you go, like I think they're listening to our space because the U.S. Secret Service has now declared the area a crime scene. Da da da. 20 minutes
What is
right.
in,
the
but
da da da? I don't get it. Trader SZ says, "I've sent something to you in DM. Please pass it on to Simon." Let me check. I will check that out. Appreciate the huge super chat. Thank you very much for supporting this space. We're giving you the real news in real information in real time. What else have we got? This is so the event has been cancelled. That's what they're telling us. Trump will not continue with the event. That is the latest news. He said he'll be hosting a press conference in 30 minutes. I know Beatrix has that ready to play. She's always ready for these things in advance. Beatrix, well done. The President Trump will be hosting a press conference. I mentioned that First Lady plus the President and all cabinet members are in perfect condition. We will be speaking to you in half an hour, is what Trump said within that statement that Beatrix read that I may or may not have been listening to.
What time was that, Sully? Because I can find the live and play it if you guys want me to. Was that
In
right
30
now?
minutes. In 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, be ready.
he
Get.
said in 30 minutes, but that was a few minutes ago, Maze.
Oh my
So I'd probably check it for 10 p.m. Eastern, if I've got my maths right.
Oh
Okay.
my god,
Yep.
what nerds! I'm like 30 minutes. Like, actually, if you think about it, from the time I read it, there's actually been 5 minutes and 33 seconds, so it's probably 24 minutes. And oh my god, what is going on? What's worse than
At the
having one?
details.
Um, I was just chilling as well, bro. I was doing some research and they do this assassination attempt. It's crazy. It's crazy indeed. Okay, what else have we got? Latest news. Let me just check any more news for you. In the meantime, Andy, jump in with your thoughts on whatever you want to add to this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Trump says at this press conference. I hope he doesn't try to do his whole fight, fight, fight thing again. We've already seen that with Butler in the comments. I've been saying under Nick Shirley already went and posted, "Aren't you tired of people trying to shoot at our president? Trump doesn't cower in the face of evil. He's the type of guy you want in your corner, so they're already trying to use this to gin up support as expected." I mean, I'm just glad that no innocents were killed in all of this, thankfully. I mean, no one wants to see anybody get shot, so that's good. We're all just waiting to see how Trump tries to spin this, if he tries to turn this into the evil left, or if he tries to use this to say something about Iran. I think that's going to be very informative. Laura Loomer already posted, "Who do you think did this? Democrats, trans, or an Iranian slash a Muslim?" So you already have her spinning her narrative. And Dan Bilzerian's fan account already commented, it's it's an Israeli false flag. So yep, we already have whoever's running Dan's fan account on top of that. So it's gonna just be, again, interesting to see what Trump says.
Do you know, Andy, this could be, right? Just like what's everyone been talking about the last 2 days? His, what is it that sort of man called it? His tacos, right? On Iran. Okay, all his chickening out, and he's like, he's got no way out of this situation. So for the average American, for the next few days at least, they're going to be talking about, the assassination attempt and, praying for him and praying for his life. And it's a complete distraction as well, isn't it? To change the narrative,
So
to
you're
get
saying
people's focus on something else.
so you're thinking he could like maybe make a deal and actually lift sanctions on Iran, and this could be his out?
No, I'm sorry.
No, for us, no, Casey, but for the average Joe Public American, come on. They're just going to be glad that their beloved president is alive.
I mean, you know what? Yeah, I have to. You know what? Let me and let me just say real quick. I see the hands. Let me lower. Sorry. Jesus.
Okay, some more breaking news. This is from CNN. It says the suspect assembled a long weapon in a lightly monitored area near the terrace level entrance, according to a volunteer witness. The room had bar carts being stored and no security at the time. Witness Helen Mabuse said that the gun didn't look like a typical gun and was assembled from a bag. Just wait for the Tyler Robinson jokes there. Jokes. I mean, that's Mez's thing. Gunman then rushed towards the stairs leading down to the ballroom, opened fire in multiple directions. Witnesses estimate at least 10 shots. A law enforcement officer was struck, hit in the vest, condition unclear. One person is in custody. Trump and Melania safe. Secret Service and Metropolis actively investigating. So they're saying the fact that someone could assemble a long gun from a bag inside a venue in a room with no security before charging the ballroom in a mass is a massive security failure. Or is it? I know this panel, everyone's got their conspiracy theory on. But for the rest of us who are rational, we're just giving you the news. And X-Commerce says, didn't the religious nut say he was protected by God? Why even evacuate him with that logic? No comment on that, X-Commerce. Okay, that girl, I think I interrupted you, right? Or was it or not?
Just before Casey jumps in, they're saying that the officer that was shot in the bullet resistance vest is expected to be okay, and Fox News is saying he's not injured. Casey, jump in.
Yeah, I'll make it quick.
I rebuked the chat. Why are people saying it's Simon? He's too nerdy to do something like this. Back to you.
Oh my God, no.
Disavow.
Totally disavow. Like we don't.
100% disavow.
Why are you laughing?
No, because we don't need, no. We disavow. But let me just say real quick. So here we go back to assembling firearms and everything. This whole thing about Erica Kirk being there, Maze. I think there's something to that as well. So we just have people coming in, assembling firearms inside an area. So nobody's learning anything anymore. And second thing, Staged is trending on Twitter.
They were targeting Erica Kirk. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I am not going to be the one who starts to parrot that talking point, but you will hear that talking point at some point. Somebody is going to, bring her in. Or, Erica Kirk, she was worried, and now people were making fun of her. Candace Owens is evil. We already know how this is going to go, especially when this girl they're talking about she's looking at presidential possibilities in the future. So this helps with the campaign. Allegedly, again, I don't want to, you know what I mean? So, and then lastly, staged is trending on Twitter. That picture of Speaker Mike Johnson, they really should have not put that out. It just doesn't help the cause. If you want to fight the staged narrative, they shouldn't have put that picture out. I'll just leave it at that. And I see the hands. Thank you, guys.
This chat is too brutal. I need I need a MAGA person up here. Where's Manco?
Here, I'll go. I'll be pro MAGA because you know what?
Yeah, let me read this news. Let me read
yeah,
this news, and then you can jump in.
I got you.
Wait,
I got you.
wait, blood. 1 second. Let me just give this news. Wait a second. In a statement, the FBI firmly confirmed that the suspect in the shooting was in custody. The statement that the National Capital Reserve Squad of the Bureau Washington Field Office has responded to the Hilton. The president is going to be giving in his announcement at 9:45 p.m. So, Biz, is that already happening, or what's going on? Actually, was right.
No, it's supposed to go on at 10:15 according to the
Well, is he not?
oh wait. Whoops, sorry. Let me I'm looking now.
Cool. Did you finished, right? That girl. We're thinking. Let's go to Tom. Oh no, public. You were gonna go full MAGA.
Oh yeah, man, days like today, man, Sully, I'm proud to be an American. President Trump, man, he survived his third assassination attempt, and I know you guys are saying like he didn't lose an ear this time, so it's not a real assassination attempt. But if he was a mushy pea eating prime minister, the whole country would have been in lockdown by now. But luckily, he's the United States president, the greatest country in the world, and he was trying to continue with the event, but per advice, they, probably had to send him to a press conference or whatever. And do we know if the shooter said Allah Akbar or something? Do we know?
Fake news. Fake news.
No, just jokes. You told me to be MAGA.
The suspect in the shooting apparently is identified as Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California. So this is what I'm hearing. I'm just double checking that though. Let me just double check that, guys. Don't take that as gospel yet, because I've only seen it in one place.
When you say Cole, you mean COL that, like Colonel? Like
Cole, like the name Cole.
Okay, thank you.
Like the name, right?
Solomon, so I was watching this on CNN and really.
God, I was gonna come to you then. I know what you're already gonna say. You're gonna say it's fake.
No,
You're gonna say it's the Mirage. You're gonna say it's the Matrix. I already know what you're gonna say, but I'll come to you in a second. I already know
thanks.
what you're gonna say.
No.
What you're gonna say?
No, I got some.
Weren't even there.
No, I got some good news. All right, I got some good intel. So I'm watching this. I'm watching this on CNN, and they pan over to, because all the press people are there. They pan over to Wolf Blitzer, and his bow tie is slightly crooked, and he goes on to say that he was 5 feet from the shooter. That's what he said, like right on TV. He said, "I was 5 feet from the shooter," and he said a police officer then covered and took him down to protect him from the shooting. And then the other anchors that are back in the studio proceed to say to Wolf Blitzer, "Okay, so Wolf, so was the shooter past the security? Was he past where the security reference points were?" And Wolf Blitzer is clearly well within that area. And he says, "Well, I'm not sure. I think so. I think he was." But he just finished saying, and he said it multiple times, "I was 5 feet from the shooter." So he's saying he was 5 feet from the shooter. But then when they asked him if the shooter actually passed a security checkpoint, he said, "I'm not sure." And then he said, "I didn't see any, I think he was shot, but I didn't see any blood." And so, and of course, I'm thinking to myself, how would a police officer take down, how many police officers are there? There must have been multiple people, but each police officer knew to go take down pedestrians to cover them, and then saying he was 5 feet. I mean, if he was 5 feet from the shooter and was well past the checkpoint, then it'd be pretty obvious the shooter would have had to been past the security checkpoint as well. And then the last thing I wanted to say, and then I'll let go over something else, is they showed on the stage when the shooting would happen, and they rushed Trump off stage. And I just thought it was uncanny how this time, unlike the assassination attempt when he was shot in the ear, how he was totally covered, and they had other armed people come out with guns to totally cover Trump. He didn't raise his head and yell "fight, fight, fight" or look at the camera for any great photo op. He was quickly rushed off stage, and that was the last you saw of him.
Cool. Want to go to Tom. Tom, we'll jump in. What's your thoughts?
Hey guys, Suleiman, what's up, man? Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to try to speculate on what happened exactly, but I'm sure one thing didn't happen. He didn't say fight, fight, fight. Yeah, I mean, look, the way he moved, the way the security reacted to the incident, yeah, they reacted to a shooter, to an active shooter. That's what happened. But one thing I can tell you guys for sure is that I'm not looking forward to hearing the Fox News version of events. Meaning, I don't want to hear Pete Hegseth, Lindsey Graham, Erica Kirk, or any of these guys' heroic rendition of the events that took place today for the next week. What a distraction, too, from everything that's going on in the Middle East. Thank God everyone's fine. I'm happy. Look, I dislike Trump. Trump's destroying the country that I'm from and I depend on. I think he's a dirtbag, but I wish him the best. I want him to live a long life and
Did
perhaps
you
go to
say
prison. I wouldn't mind
I
seeing that happen.
dislike Trump, or did you say I just like Trump? It's very important for
I
me to identify which one.
DIS, dislike.
Cool,
Let
cool.
me
You
just
may
say
Yeah,
something.
no,
continue.
I intensely dislike the guy. I think he's a dirtbag. He's a scumbag. He's a war criminal.
Got you, Tom.
However,
Got you.
I'm one of
Got
these
it, got
guys. I
it.
don't believe. Just
Okay.
personally, I don't believe in the death penalty and stuff. I want everyone to live their life and may just come about when it should. But anyway, no, it's a crazy situation, dude. This is nuts. I mean, 2026. It started off intensely. We all knew it was going to be a pretty tumultuous year, but at this rate, what else is going to happen this year? This is going to be absolutely insane, brother. I don't think you're going to have any cessation of news to cover this year whatsoever. Yeah, those are my thoughts, man.
Yeah, let me quickly give you some more breaking news. There was Congressman Abu Hamde, Stutzman and Ogles were sitting there when the gunshots erupted, just 50 to 75 feet away. As I mentioned, the suspect has been now apprehended. It's Cole Thomas Allen. Cole Thomas Allen of California. So Cole Thomas Allen of California is the shooter. The shooter has been apprehended. I mean, I don't know if they'll blame a lot. They might blame the left on this one. But yeah, that's the latest news. Let me just see if there's any more
And that
news.
was the first thing I thought about Cinnamon. I just didn't want to bring it up to further
You
cause
thought what?
division, but I thought it was the left.
You're breaking up. This is a problem. If you
You know, for
That was
somebody who
behind this.
works in telecoms, you've got the most
I
rubbish
figured it was the
mic,
left.
the
I
rubbish
figured it was
network, the rubbish connection ever.
no.
Just prove my case.
I've worked on it. I've actually
Luma.
switched out phones and earphones today twice
Okay,
because
cool. Thanks for
Cinnamon
that. We don't
earlier
need
told
to.
me the
That's
same
fine.
thing.
That's fine. Probably. Thanks for letting us know your life story. It's very important. Laura Luma just posted trans, Democrat, Groiper, or Muslim slash Iranian. Which one? That's where they're putting their circles on what it could
So it's
be.
a joke to her then, right?
Yeah,
So she takes it as a joke. What kind of?
the
Um,
gentleman, the,
Maybe, or
the,
she's trying to say those are the possible suspects. JD Vance has been now successfully evacuated from Washington Hilton and it's on his way to the White House. What else? A service agent was shot by the assailant at the White House Correspondents' Dinner tonight, but he was hit in the vest. So it seems like he's okay. They said, yeah, he will be fine. Okay, that's the latest news. Obviously, we're here to give you the latest news and the latest information. I mean, you guys are such bad conspiracy theorists. You made Grant Cardone run out straight away. He was like coming here to tell you about how much Trump is a G. And then he heard our cats talk about how Trump's a hologram. And he's like, damn, I gotta get out of here. Like, what is going on here? This is a flipping cuckoo space.
Who said he was a hologram? That's hilarious.
No one
I
said it. No
missed
one said
that.
it. I'm joking. I'm
Oh,
joking.
okay. Well, look, I'm
I'm
gonna
trying to
entertain.
dramatize the situation, Miz. This is called Well, I can't say entertainment because they'll be like, why are you doing entertainment with Trump? Stop, you know what I mean?
Exaggeration.
Not exaggeration, just making it very interesting. But essentially, that's what he was. That was basically the line he was going down, like it's all fake and all that. Okay, more news, and we have got Trump's press conference coming out in
15
15
minutes.
minutes or so. So watch out for that. We're gonna give you that as and when we receive it. Let's see what the latest is. The
So
president is
this
back at the White House, and so is the press pool covering him. Trump said he'll be holding a press news conference. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is at the front of the door of the West Wing in his tuxedo right now. As I said, Trump will be giving a statement in 15 minutes. We've got Grant Cardone back on. Grant, what's your thoughts about what's going on?
They talked Trump out of the dinner. He was insisting on the dinner, and they said, "No, dude, we can't secure the room. You go back to D.C., go back to the White House, make your announcement there." So I think they're going to do another correspondence dinner. It'll be the most viewed correspondence dinner in the history of the dinners.
Yeah, yeah. If there's no war going on, possibly it depends on the circumstances of that dinner. But
Some
yeah,
some of you guys will probably think that Trump arranged this whole thing tonight to deflect from the war.
but there are many people on the space, and without a shadow of a doubt, Grant, who believe that this is a staged event for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
That's why I was begging for some Margas to come on. I was like, "Where's the Margas? You come on. You got you on. You got Public on." They say no. Trump is a real life hero. The rest of them are saying this is, what you just said now.
Yeah, Grant, I was just
Don't
saying,
believe
man,
him,
like
Grant. I did not get in
Trump's
on this
not
conspiracy. I know I get in on them usually.
Oh my God,
Trump's not
Maze,
eating
Maze
mushy
literally playing
peas.
all sides, blood. Oh
Because
my
I'm the
God,
first person
this is
he
why you
thought
can
said
never
that.
trust chicks. Oh my God, she was literally saying he's a hologram like 2 minutes ago. Crazy. Okay, let me just continue to give the Grant. Trump's gonna make a statement in 30 minutes. We now know the shooter is called something Cole. Was it Cole Thomas Allen, and he's from California. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I don't have any thoughts about that. What about thoughts? Fuck, it's some guy named Thomas Allen, guy with two first names from a state that's fucked up.
There's a lot of posh. There's a lot of rich people in Cali as well, Grant.
Yeah, there's more poor people in California than there are rich people.
That's actually true. I mean, it is true. There's a lot of
Highest poverty rate next to like Mississippi.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's actually, but jokes aside, it's really sad to see when you go to Los Angeles and you see the level of poverty and homelessness. Yeah, it's really sad to see, especially when it's so close to like these kind of affluent areas, in the sense of like you have like rich with the poor. Speaker Johnson says, "quote." Kelly and I were at the event tonight, and we're thankful no innocent people were harmed, and everyone is now safe. Um, there's unverified images of the shooter. It looks like he could be a teacher. He got he got a he got an award as a teacher of the
You,
month.
you want me to read you his LinkedIn?
Oh, you found it already, blood.
Yeah, I sent you a picture
Well,
too in
who are
DMs.
you, Joa?
Send it
Jeez.
to me, Joe. Send it to me as well, bro, please.
I did. I sent it to you. Yeah, he works at C2 Education, which helps students get into their dream school through test prep and GPA management and college counseling. So it's like a school for prepping that he's into. He was an indie game designer, developer. He graduated from I think he graduated from Caltech. Says pretty sure my master's in computer science is done. That was 11 months ago that he posted that. I think that's his only post. Um, yeah, and he was a mechanical engineering intern as well back in 2016. So he went to California State University, also Caltech, master's in computer science, and now he's working at a prep school. So it seems like life has not gone too well for him. If you are a engineer and you're basically prepping students.
Wait,
a
I don't
civil.
get you. What do you mean life's not going well for you?
Well, look, an engineer typically would be doing really well. These are basically tutors, right, for kids to prep for SAT scores and things like that. Like that's what his job is now.
Joe, is
So,
he the 31-year-old from Torrance, California? Is that what you said?
yep, 31 Torrance.
So he has no party preference, which is interesting for voter. So he's not a registered Democrat or a Republican.
Yeah. So
But
I
we
don't
could
know.
assume that because he's from California and he's broke and he's leaning towards left, so I'm gonna assume that this guy's a leftist.
Well, I'm
He's in
seeing here there are claims.
education, and he's taking it out on Trump. That
Okay, I'm seeing that can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear
That he
you.
did have a $25 contribution towards the Kamala Harris presidential campaign. So, Joe, are you trying to give misinformation to hide his allegiance to his alliance to the Democrats?
I didn't send any misinformation whether he's
Yeah,
left
I'm
or
joking
right.
with you. I'm joking with you. Okay, okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
just said you could see by his working history that the kid got a master's in computer science and is working as a tutor. So you would assume life has not gone his way.
It could just be mental
but
health
if it's in
issues and
public,
not a political ideology, right?
I think if it's public education, sometimes they pay off your student loans if you do a certain amount of years.
Listen, all I can say is when you see the video of them rushing Trump off stage, it looks very different and a lot more genuine than in Butler, PA, when he was shot in the ear. So CNN, I mean, Wolf Blitzer's probably lying, but I just don't know how, as a news anchor, you say that you were 5 feet from the shooter, and then when you're asked immediately after if he passed security, you couldn't answer the question. And then later I noticed on the news that was a topic they continued to bring up was where was the shooter when it happened, and had he already passed the security checkpoint? But what they seem like they're reporting on the news is slightly different than what CNN was reporting, because Wolf Blitzer was basically saying, and they showed where Wolf Blitzer was, that he was inside this room that was just past the security checkpoint. And then Wolf Blitzer said he was tackled by a police officer, and then he went into the bathroom. They brought him to the bathroom, and he was in the bathroom with about 15 other people, and that he heard shots being fired. And then after he proceeds to say, yes, he did see the shooter. Then they asked him, could you identify what he looked like? He said, well, no, I can't identify him. I can't tell you what he looked like, but I saw him. And then he said, I think I believe he was shot, but I didn't see any blood. So he said a lot of contradictory things. Maybe he was in shock. I don't know. It just didn't seem as genuine coming from, I mean, they're trying to
I
put
mean,
on a
it
show.
could be he's in shock. It could be he's, you know how it is, like he's trying to grandize his own position or situational presence in the situation. It could be any of those things, right?
Yeah, like I thought maybe he's, grandstanding for
Yeah,
television. Yeah, I agree.
exactly. Exactly. Um, so just confirming the shooter is called Cole Thomas Allen from California. He is a teacher, and he did give a $25 contribution to Kamala Harris's campaign. According to records, is what
Caltech
we hearing.
featured them in their social media post in 2017. I
Who?
sent you that image as well, so now you have his baby pictures also.
Who did? Who featured him?
Caltech featured him in their social media in 2017.
He looks mixed race,
Mixed.
right?
Yeah, he looks mixed.
So the next 10 minutes, Joe's going to have a family video of the shooter or what?
Yeah, Joe.
I'll have his bris.
Don't get what Joe is bad stuff, bro. You don't know what Joe is about, bro. You don't know this man, bro. You don't want that smoke. You don't want it. That girl, jump in.
Yeah, I don't understand because I'm seeing Deborah Lee, a person who, Zionist pro-Israel, then obviously pro-Trump kind of person, saying that there was no security, no metal detectors, no pat downs, nothing. This is an influencer who is extremely close to Benjamin Netanyahu, and like, why would for her to post that? I'm going to take it as a fact because it's not like me saying it where people would say, well, you just don't like this administration. She's not against the Trump administration. So this is quite telling to me. And she was there and she made this video and put it out there. It's odd.
So
Yeah,
she did an image of
yeah, I tell you what.
just straight to you, Andrew. Just she also posted a picture of herself with a selfie with, like, like they pout their lips, and saying, "Oh, shooter is dead or apprehended." And I think she deleted it because she got a lot of negative comments, thinking that this isn't Israel where you basically grandize these type of moments. But yeah, sorry, back to you, that girl.
No, yeah, I just real quick.
Oh
I
no, sorry, it
mean,
was Andrew, wasn't it? So after that,
yeah, it
then
was
go to
Andrew,
Andrew.
but I'm still looking at this video because I'm sorry. So I believe her because there's no reason for her to come and sabotage this administration. You know what I mean? So what I'm hearing basically is that there was no security. So then that's one story. Whoever was reporting it, that you saw about, oh, he shot at the metal detectors. What metal detectors? So like I said, like we were saying already, this person was able to get in. It appears, if you assess the situation, that they were able to get in and get somehow close. I don't understand. So I'm not saying Trump did this, like, coordinated this event, but something is not adding up to me when a situation like this, where not only just the president is in the room, but a lot of other people, and so there's no security, so there's people just walking in. That's a bit much, especially after these past so-called attempts and stuff like that. So I don't know what the framing is here. This is a poorly done job, period.
The guys, obviously Trump is gonna go live in a few minutes. When he goes live, we will be playing it and streaming it on the space, so be ready for that. But yeah, Donald Trump is gonna be going live in a few minutes. Just to be aware. Andrew, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are well. Any thoughts on what is happening?
Yeah, real quick, Suleiman, thank you. I'm glad you threw the space. I'm glad I double checked. Two quick points. Caltech is, I don't know if how many listeners know, Caltech is high. It's difficult to get in there. That's a very, very prestigious school for engineering. And I agree with Joe that, man, if you're in Caltech and their program, first of all, you're top shelf intellectually. And why would he be doing that? Also, we know this is really adding up to something ain't adding up. Anything that Trump does, it's staged. I don't believe anything that is just by, oh my God, it just happened. No, I think it was staged, and I think we're going to find out how staged it was. And I agree with that girl. That needs to be looked at.
Oh my God. What is wrong with this panel? Let me quickly give
Yeah,
you the news.
we just been through too much, brother. We've been through too much, man.
Breaking
Too
news,
much.
breaking. Listen, I don't disavow, and I disavow. I do a miss. I don't disavow, and I disavow. A security patrol on the grounds of the White House after President Trump returned following gunfire at the dinner he was attending at the Washington Hilton. So we have security at the White House right now. Lots of news coming through. Obviously, we're going to give you it as and when we receive it. Do me a favor, retweet the space, reshare the space, let everybody know we're live. Or the YouTube as well. Let me share that. We've got a lot of people join the YouTube without even sharing it out. Golden. You've been trained now.
Also,
You've been trained.
Washington.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Beatrice.
sorry. Washington Post says the White House correspondent's dinner shooter is alive and has been transported to a local hospital. And I think, is Trump going to speak, Maze?
Yeah, I'm on the White House page and I also have the live CBS News. I have a few tabs open, all of which are reporting that he's going to do it. He's just not, it's not yet.
Yeah, CNN just reported, kind of what you're saying, Beatrix, that the initial reports were that he was dead, that they had killed him, and now they say again they said he's just been apprehended and that he has not succumbed to any injuries, and that they in fact don't even know if he's injured.
What? How can it be that these goons did not injure him when he went in there with a gun?
Wait,
They
who's the
stripped him
goon? He's the
naked.
goon. Wait, he's the goon. The Secret Service apprehended him. What are you talking about?
Which is strange because again, Wolf Blitzer had said he heard shots, he saw them take down the suspect, but he did not see any blood.
Okay. So it says it'll begin shortly, but finally there's a screen up here. I was nervous for a minute, but I'll let you guys know when it starts.
Yeah, I could see the podium too.
Yeah,
I
we
could see.
had various reports at CAT, which was some reports said there were 3 shots, other reports said there were 10 shots fired. So again, we are unaware about the number of shots, but yeah, this is exactly what you said. There is. I did pretty good. I quickly created a poster for the YouTube, and it was. I did right. Is it a false flag or not? I asked both questions because we always keep it open on this space. We're always allowing people with different ideas and positions on here, however crazy it is, such as Miz and her hologram theory. But that being said, okay, so Trump's motorcade just cleared out of DC and peeled off. Trump is back at the White House. Press pool is back with him. The president says he'll be holding a news conference shortly, meaning President Trump. Expect a okay, and we have okay. We have videos of the Secret Service dragging Vance out of the event as well. So yeah, we got some. At least they haven't got the small chick in front of him this time. Okay, let's go to Andy. Andy, jump in. Give us your thoughts.
So Utah Senator Mike Lees already posted our national security is in peril. Democrats have left the DHS funded for over 2 months, which has stretched it thin and put our president at risk. So as I predicted, they're already pushing the defunded DHS angle and trying to turn it into a right versus left. And I don't know if the DHS being defunded would have stretched our Secret Service more thin or not. Well, that's even assuming this is legitimate, which I don't think it is. But yeah, I was saying earlier that I think they're going to go to that DHS angle and say this is the Democrats' fault. If they funded the DHS, this wouldn't happen, and use that to drum up support for the midterms.
Oh man, it's really true. I just sent you another link, another image. He was featured on the Caltech webpage for taking a master's in mechanical engineering. I think he was part of their ad campaign. He has multiple awards. He's in robotics, which is exploding today, and it doesn't make sense. A top Caltech student that works in robotics, which right now is booming like crazy, and he's working as a tutor, like for SAT scores for high school students.
No, but how do you know that wasn't his only job? It might be like a second job or something.
He has it listed on his LinkedIn. He was developing a game, and he was working at that C2 school, which is like a prep school. But this is a kid who's like top of like one of the top in his class from Caltech in robotics.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, he'd have many
Isn't
offers,
that
right,
similar
Joe?
to Tyler Robinson, who again had exceptional grades? Joe.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah, once again.
So Wolf Blitzer's again saying, so this was right outside the main ballroom doors. So it was definitely past security, the security checkpoint. And according to him, who he was right next to the shots, he said he heard about 6 shots fired. But again, this was out. It wasn't within the main ballroom, but it was right outside the doors of the main ballroom.
Okay, I'm putting a tweet out which is gonna annoy you all. We got first images coming out. Right, be ready for this. This is probably more important than the president being saved. Of Erica Kirk being saved and escorted out of the premises. So we have the first images of Erica Kirk being escorted out of the premises as well.
Surprised she's not doing a statement, a televised statement about how she feels, and you know what I mean?
Well, we do. Well, we want that. We want to hear her
How it
thoughts and
reminds her of
feel.
her Charlie, and how she's lucky JD Vance was there to hold her hand, and
How Charlie was watching over her and protected her.
True, true. Great points. Great points. These are like I actually want to hear from her. This is a would be a very traumatic event for her. Erica Kirk escorted out of the building after shooting.
she
After
literally is the only chick that you've ever said anything nice
this,
about.
all
Isn't that
right. This must
strange?
be. This
Meghan
must be.
Markle.
I'm right. This must be a very traumatic event for her.
Actually, yeah, Casey Megan was another one. Yeah, you're right,
Yeah, yeah, I
Casey
stand with
Megan.
Megan 100%. Stand with Megan all day long and twice on Tuesday. And I stand with King Harry as well. Anyway, let's not divert the subject. You guys are diverting. Back to the conversation at hand. Long live the king. Long live the true king. The
Trump
Ginger
bashed him.
King.
Trump bashed him a couple of days ago. It's the only time I like
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah.
But anyway,
Trump's lost it. Trump's lost it. We know that already. Look at the war in Iran. No one's defending Trump. He's attacking the king, the Ginger King. He's got problems. Eyewitnesses moments after the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner says shots were fired about 30 feet away from me as about dozens of people filed into the restroom. Is what the claim is. I don't know who the source of that is, to be honest. Let's go to Mike Mikal. Mikal, thanks for joining us. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. Hi from Europe, from Czech. But if you give me a few minutes, because I'm in train right now with the bad reception.
Yeah, cool. We'll give you a few minutes. Let's go to Casey. Casey, jump in. Give us your thoughts.
I want to come back to that Erica Kirk announcement that was made. I mean, because it is part of the situation. One first thought when I saw her picture that she was at this dinner, I was shocked because I'm not really sure why she needed to be at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and it probably would have been safer for her to be home. The other thing is she will not make a statement on this. I already know she won't, but she has her PR team, Andrew Colvett, these certain people and the people online who will come out and speak for her because, they will keep her kind of away as far as for her image. They'll let the other people talk for her and, kind of bring her up as the hero of the situation. So I think that's what I see happening because let's keep it real, even though however we feel about
Breaking
her.
news.
Yep.
Breaking news. The suspect had both a shotgun and a handgun in his possession. So the suspect had both a shotgun and a handgun in his possession. Back to you, Casey.
I just don't understand how these people keep getting so. It's just, well, I don't know what this is about. But again, but just to wrap it up with her, this will be used as part of the campaign for sure. The widow who now survived an assassination attempt because she was in a room. So
We
we
have
can
a
say that it could have been
statement
because of her.
from the Mexican president. It says, quote, it's what? Oh, it's great that President Trump and his wife are doing well after the recent events. We send our respect. Violence should never be the way. So the president of Mexico, or as some people call it, Mexico, has now made a statement in terms of what happened. Back to you, Casey.
It's pretty interesting considering that Trump is like threatening to, bomb Mexico or something. But yeah. So anyway, but that's just to wrap it up. How the campaign
Fake
will go.
news. When did the Trump say that he's gonna bomb Mexico?
He was at
He
one
loves
point
the
threatening to.
Mexicans.
I like Mexico. It was just okay. You know what? But yeah, that's just the wrap up of the Erica Kirk part of it for now. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know what you said. You just said she's really good.
Not at all. I said that she is going to use this as part of her campaign. The widow who now has survived an assassination attempt herself. People were laughing about, before making jokes. You see, this is serious. Erica could have been hurt. The children are one parent away from being
That's
orphaned.
true. But what you're saying, everything's true.
I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying that I'm being callous with life. I just know how the PR will work, and so we'll pay attention to that. I think it's going to mostly turn around mostly on her. People probably forget about Trump even. I really do see that happening.
Oh my God, there is something wrong with you, Beatrix. Like, actually, post it out. It will go viral though. But come on, blood.
Her face.
Yeah.
She looks like a little witch.
Come on.
Send it to me, please.
I send it to you, Casey. Love, don't watch that. I send it to you now. Wait, let me find it again.
Who? Send it to me too, please.
I send it to you as well, darling. Don't worry. I send it to both of you. It's moments before the shooting. It's the little witch, Erica Kirk, and she's looking a little bit like weird, like she's expecting something to go down. I
Ooh,
sent.
that's the kind of conspiracies that I look, man. She looks like somebody had said this, and I couldn't help but 100% agree. Is that she looks like her head is gonna start doing a 360, and then she's gonna throw up pea soup. Like,
Amazing. That's exactly what she looks like here. I've DM'd it to both of you. Look at her face.
okay.
The eyes,
Okay.
the eyes.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go to. That's not you. That's everybody. Let's go to. Who should we go to now? Let's go to Veritasity. Good.
Thanks, Suleiman. And thanks to the panel. Good panel and good coverage tonight. I'm just going to say this.
Breaking
So,
news. Breaking news. Tim Burchett, Representative Tim Burchett, made the following say, thankful for the safety of the first and second families, the administration, the press, and all in attendance tonight. Thankful for the decisive action by our Secret Service. Pray for our country, Trump and J.D. Vance. Back to you, Veritasity.
yeah, real quick, because it looks like Trump's about to speak. But I'm just going to notice, okay? I'm noticing. So that Trump, for 10 years, he's had a very overt policy of never going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This was his big protest against the media, which is right to be protesting against them. But then all of a sudden, very mysteriously, and it seems to me without any explanation, all of a sudden this year he's going. And they only announced it very recently. So then he hasn't been to this dinner for 10 years and he goes, and then this thing happens. Now, in my mind, I also say that it's not really 100% clear to me where this shooter was. I think, was he in the building? But he was certainly very, very far away from the president. And at no point was the president shot at. Now, I'm not trying to diminish it, but it seems like it's a making of a wonderful false flag where Trump doesn't even have to get injured or distracted. He doesn't have to pull off any kind of fake movements. And why did he go to this dinner after he's been boycotting it for 10 years? It's a bit suspicious to me. That's the only point. The other point I want to make real quick was, Suleiman, you read that, I think the woman's name earlier for Anna, the description of the shooter and that particular line, it caught my ear. She said, described the shooter as taking the gun out of a bag or having it in a bag and then taking it out of a bag and assembling it. Now, getting to the Erica Kirk part. Now, here's the conspiracy thing. As anyone who's been watching Candace lately knows, there is a trail on the Charlie Kirk killing, which I believe the Mossad did, just to be on the record, that the Charlie Kirk assassination is now, Candace has tracked down a very mysterious sort of weapon that Erica Kirk has a loose connection to, and this pastor, his last name is Marks. And on Wednesday's show, Candace did a very long interview with the actual inventor of this weapon. It's called the Foldar, Foldar. It's actually a folding assault rifle. It's a new weapon. It's only been around for 10 years or something. And it's actually a weapon that can fit in like a backpack, and then it folds out to a full-size assault rifle. So there's a connection to Erica Kirk with that because she's connected to this guy who's a pastor who apparently has been proven to have been trying to get these weapons for Israel, providing them to the IDF. Okay. And then the fact that this, I don't know, that report that you're saying, how does this guy, he just happens to have a weapon in a folding, a folding. It sounds exactly like the type of weapon that people in the Charlie Kirk
Breaking news,
investigation.
breaking news. The unbiased mediator of Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif, the guy who's mediating the end and possible conclusion of the war, has made a statement saying, quote, deeply shocked by the disturbing shooting incident at the White House Correspondents Association dinner in Washington, D.C. a short while ago. Relieved to know that President Trump, the First Lady, and other attendees are safe. My thoughts and prayers are with them, and I wish him continued safety and well-being. This is by Shahbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and he is duly concerned. The unbiased mediator is concerned for the well-being of President Trump. We're still waiting for this press conference from President Trump, and as soon as we get it, we shall play
Yeah.
this.
Thanks, Suleiman. And I want to say on that exact kind of breaking news thing,
I thought
I
you
think
finished.
we should keep our ears open precisely in the area of Lebanon and Iran, because it would definitely not be beyond these people to use an opportunity like this when everyone in the media is not going to be distracted about this case for the next several days to kick into their deadly war, genocidal war against Iran, where they are committing war crimes on the hour. And they're also now beginning to kick up their evil war against Lebanon, a totally victimized country with that has no reason to be attacked by these satanic Jews. Okay, and long
Yeah,
story short,
yeah, okay.
you know,
Veritasity, listen,
I
listen to
agree.
me, right? Don't do that here. This isn't the
What?
Jew bashing space, number one. Number two, half of the people freaking funding this are Zionist Christians, and the other half supporting this are Zionist Muslims. So, listen, wrong space, wrong time, wrong mood.
Well,
Don't do that.
I used one adjective, and I happen
I
to
don't
think it's
care. Don't use
accurate.
that adjective on this space.
Satanic Jews. That's
Okay,
what
Yeah,
I
listen,
don't
said.
look.
breaking.
I already asked you not to use it. That means don't repeat it.
Okay, breaking news. Breaking news. We have Trump just posted a photo of the shooter. Trump just posted a photo of the shooter. So he's giving you some inside scoops from his Truth Social, and you can see the shooter. It is the one confirmed that Joe has been figuring out his entire life history for us. And actually, Joe, since we put it out, everybody's posting it. But Laura Luma took it off us and wrote scoop. How is it a scoop? It's our scoop, lad. Joe, it's our scoop.
Yeah, I saw she
What?
took ours.
Yeah, why is
I'm
she saying scoop? We scooped it. We scooped it all up. Anyway, it is the same.
I'm
Yeah,
mad
Jamie,
that
it
like
is the
he's
same
late.
photo as Joe posted. Don't test our crew, blood. Don't test our crew, Jamie. Okay, sorry. What?
It does show strength
Uh,
within the U.S. president, though, Suleiman, because if it was Biden or Starmer or something, like you wouldn't have heard nothing and probably would have been locked in a
I can't
room.
even hear anything you're saying. Like,
okay,
if this is your
here it
one
Dude.
G
comes,
internet, can we have
guys.
Oh
your
my
crew, please?
God, dude.
Here it
Can't hear
comes.
anything
Here
you're
it
saying. It's
comes.
like one G, bro.
Here it
The
comes.
the day that I decided to defend Trump, like what the hell, man? Trump, help me out, bro. I need the internet.
Oh, it's gone bad now. It's gone bad. Okay, Trump's play,
Yeah,
babe.
I am. I am. I mean, Is he talking? What the fuck?
He's talking, blood. We don't want to hear your
Okay,
voice.
okay. Got it.
Together members of both parties with members of the press, and in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down. For purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to. And you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story, and in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people. And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of very quickly, rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person, and we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady for That was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage, and I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the President and the Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Marlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple, and then we go to the chief. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay? And after that, it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly, and I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact, we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly, other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, "That's a bad noise," and we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it, because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said what. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much, because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country. And there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor
Well,
events?
but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to, it is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know, I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, we've had no. There was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead,
Do you know
Kevin.
any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing. No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think. Absolutely. I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. You, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it now, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was, so in a sense, that was pretty amazing, the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot, as you know. They should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly, and he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. He hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight, but I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just it's not my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. And they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, A lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically
All
motivated.
violence. I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story. Race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%, but if you take presidents, it's 5.8%, and about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. As part of the job, it is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous. But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of, members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics in America anymore?
Yeah, well,
what does that say about our
elsewhere
country?
too. We're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody from another country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America. In South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune. No country. Good question.
Is it possible to turn that temperature down at this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much, if I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it in my first term, and now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon, and they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I say to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. We did it in 1 year, and I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your
I
leadership?
like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times. She said, you are in a dangerous job, but that goes along with her too. I mean, it's dangerous for her too. We sat there tonight, we heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You talked about how impactful this was. Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
Huh?
One in the back, sir.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts. So it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. It was very impressive the way they got him, because a lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast. They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing, and we really do. But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
Let me just quickly get the conferences and all this and all that. It makes it, to me, seem quite different to the Butler assassination attempt or the previous ones where we don't really have much information from it. But that's my thoughts on that. But let's see what everyone else is going to say. Beatrix, you got your hand up. That's quite good. Look very, very,
Yeah,
very well
I just
behaved.
want to say that, you know what? I think it's a really good idea that he coupled this press conference with his fundraiser for the ballroom, because now the ballroom is even more important that people put money up for it. You know what I mean? And I think the assassination attempt was just coincidental timing. I think that's what's going down to him, man. Like, seriously, this guy.
Well, I mean, we deserve nice things. You guys have nice things in the UK, so we deserve nice
You're a
ballrooms.
really irritating and annoying MAGA supporter when you become one. Do you know that? He's really good at it.
I mean, I'm shocked. I'm like, why is he throwing up hundreds right now? Like, what's going on?
I
What
mean, no,
happened?
look, we do all this work. We work really hard. We keep the world safe, and then what? We got nothing to show for it. Let us build something nice. Let us have something.
It's $40,000 per square foot. What could you possibly be making with those square feet? I'm just saying. Anyway.
But coming back to it, I mean, I think it was a very good press conference. I think they gave us really good information. I believe we got a real understanding of what's going on now. It was very transparent, very articulate. great information. Why are you laughing? I'm serious.
I feel like, any recovery I've made in my illness, I'm going to go backwards again. It's going to make me sick listening to you talk about how great that
Also,
press
you're like
conference
so
was.
basically it's not Erica Kirk who's the victim, you're the victim of all this. So Trump has an assassination attempt, almost dies, but Beatrix
Almost
is the
dies. Like,
victim.
okay, listen, right, listen, let me tell you something. You know that video you posted where they take JD Vance out, right? Somebody messaged me and I looked at it properly. Right, what happens in that video? And I will go back to the press conference in a second, but I need to tell you this. Firstly, and that's the one that Casey commented under saying she can't stop laughing. They pluck Vance out, JD Vance out, before they even take Trump out. That's their freaking priority. They didn't take the president out. They took JD Vance out. Then afterwards, they go further and like from Trump's corner of the table, everyone's looking like, what's going on? What's going on? They haven't got a clue. Then they go to take Trump out, and Trump gets up and falls flat on his face. And then they all bend down and pick Trump up, right? They picked Trump up to then drag him and lift him out. And do you know what? Melania's not there. So I don't know where she was sat. She probably sat at the back of the room with Erica. So something not right here, Suleiman. Maze, put that in your little conspiracy theory hat. You can have a look at that. They took JD Vance out first. Look at Suleiman's thing where he said they took JD Vance out. That video, Maze.
That is very interesting.
Yeah,
Let me check it out.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna quote tweet that. But the thing is, uh don't attack Trump. He's like an
I
old
literally
grandpa.
WhatsApped it to you about 10 minutes ago, Suleiman.
No, I posted it, but I didn't know that. What I was gonna ask say was, why are
What
you
you were gonna say
attacking
was don't
Trump? Like
attack Trump.
he's an old grandpa. Of course he might trip over. That's not like something to
I don't
laugh.
think
Why are you laughing?
you got your real Magatard here now. You got Manco. My
Oh,
God, Manco, this,
Manco,
yeah.
bro, finally, Manco, where you been, bro? Your president almost got assassinated and you've been sleeping.
They're
Yeah, I
still
was
sleeping, I
asleep.
think.
I just woke up.
Oh my God, why are you sleeping when the president of the United States almost got assassinated?
I mean, I just heard a bit before you started saying something. What, he slipped on a banana peel? What's going on?
Oh my God, complete disrespect. No, he didn't. He almost got an assassination attempt, and in the attempted assassination, they try and get him out of the situation, and he trips up a little bit, and like everyone's doing drama, but it wasn't like, what do you mean? Why are you talking about a banana peel? Have some respect for the red, white, and blue.
Well,
You know, the only thing I heard is you said
Beatrix
he's
was
an
trying
old
to say
man.
that
He
he
tripped.
took JD Vance out earlier than Trump. What it was, Trump was not panicking. JD Vance was. Trump doesn't fold under pressure, and he's like, get the little guy out of here. I'm the big guy. Let me, hold it down. And Beatrix
I
was like,
prefer
dog.
Manco to Brother Public pretending to be MAGA. Freaking hell, man. Listen, watch the video. Neither of them had a clue what was going on. They literally took JD Vance by the collar and dragged him out. He had no idea. And then they went for Trump. And this Canadian leader, what's he called? What's he bloody called? Mark Carney's done a statement. He says, I'm relieved that the president, the first lady, who was nowhere to be seen, by the way, and all guests are safe following reports of gunfire at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington tonight. Political violence has no place in any democracy. Sure, right, okay. And my thoughts are with all those who have been shaken by this disturbing event. What I will say is, right, he's never done a correspondence dinner before. I don't believe he had any intention of doing this one either. And Caroline Levitt said it before the dinner. I know you're laughing at me, Suleiman, but Caroline Levitt even said it. There's going to be shots fired in here. She said it. Erica Kirk's face looked sour. She was looking over her shoulder like freaking hell, they better not fly too close to me. It was a setup. He was not going to do it. He didn't have no speech ready. None of that. This was all a show for his ballroom, to get money for his ballroom, to get everybody. And then he actually praised the press today. He praised the press because he wants them to rally around him and make him some superhero and get them money for the ballroom. That's what it's about.
Well, I mean, I do think it was a real assassination attempt, but he's leveraged it in order to get people on his side in terms of to rally, not around the ballroom, I don't think, but in the hopes that they rally around this attack that they're going to do on Iran. Personally, that's what I think. I think they're planning to bomb Iran again, and he wants a bit more support. He was told the support was really bad, so obviously this is a way to leverage it. That means I don't think it was a fake assassination. I mean, the guy was outside. He tried to get to the security thing. They got him down straight away. Like, come on.
I sent you a video of one of the press people who's speaking, saying he's been to like 10 of these White House correspondence dinners and he's never seen security so lax. He said there was no security outside the hotel, only outside the ballroom, inside the premises.
Yeah,
And that
that's fake news
deliberate.
CNN. Do you believe CNN?
No,
I
but
believe
remember,
anybody. Casey, jump in.
but remember, Suleiman, I told you the Zionist Deborah Lee said the same thing too. She loves this administration. So for her to say that again, it would make it look bad on them that they don't have the security. And she said it. She's one of them. So that's why, like, I do believe it. And I'm sorry, I do need to say something because that yanking of JD pants, I'm sorry, I cannot stop laughing. All I see is the mascara, and. Like they yanked him like a rag doll, like a little girl from.
Disavow. Listen, Palantir, mass surveillance, social credit score. Make sure that when you're decreasing people's social credit score, this person's called that girl KC from the hood, and not Suleiman Ahmed from the ends. I don't avow any of this. I think JD Vance is the most beautiful, charismatic, stylish vice president in the history of the United States of America. If you're taking social credit scores off, I'm not the guy who's saying this. This is solely a girl called Casey, just so you know. Continue, Casey.
I'm just saying, like, seriously, you're right. He is beautiful with those that waterproof mascara. Like, I'm trying to find out what brand that is because no matter what's going on, you always see it. You know what I mean? It's the best mascara ever. And they just grabbed it like like a
Joe,
wet
someone in the
woman.
chat said, someone in the chat said, tell Joe to check the Google trends.
They
Yeah, that's
started actually spewing.
Google Trend is horrible though because you can put in anything, dude. You can put in Suleiman in Turkestan and you're gonna find like
Obviously, I'm
a hit.
famous, but tell about someone who's not famous.
Yeah, but anything. You can look
Yeah,
up
I've
anything and
got
you'll find a hit.
Turkestan. Like, look, if I go on my YouTube, I got Turkestan on there. What are you attacking Turkestan for, bro? I got following there.
Dude, you can put Andrew Sheets, Turkestan, and you'll find a hit. That's all
Andrew
I'm
Sheets
saying.
is famous now after being on my spaces. Everyone knows him.
Okay, you can pick Thomas Paine in Turkestan, and you're gonna
Thomas
find a hit.
Paine literally tried wasn't he the guy who who was Thomas Paine again?
No one. I just made it up. There's no
No,
Thomas
there is
Paine.
Thomas Paine. He's a famous guy.
Who
I've
is
heard that
it?
Oh
name
my
before.
God, Joe, I
Didn't he try
just
to
checked the
assassinate somebody?
freaking trends. Somebody's asked you to check them. We don't need to
But
know all the
Well,
algorithm
that's one of the
backgrounds
founding
of how it
fathers.
works.
you can find
You know,
a
hey, you've heard
trend
of
on
Common
anything.
Sense, right? He's the guy who wrote Common Sense. He's like a philosopher.
Yeah. So the Google Trends, they started skewing it a little bit though after the Charlie Kirk dropping because they figured out that people were being able to figure things out with Google Trends, and you know how these people are who own these Google and all that. So I mean, the kind of cleaning up they've done with Google is absolutely amazing. Can't find an early life
Also,
anywhere.
you know
But
what's yeah, you're right, that girl. I just want to say this point because I was gonna say before and I forgot. Uh you know so one of the things that Nikita said was, by the way, I love Nikita. Like, don't deboost me or ban me. Well, I'm already I guess all that's already happened. Just don't ban me. That's the last thing left. But that being said, one of the things he said was that he is deboosting news aggregator accounts. It means if you were to post a lot of news in a short period of time, you will be deboosted. So this time, I was watching all the accounts posting it, and actually, all the pro war accounts were posting and aggregating the same news over a very short period of time, and all of them were boosted. None of them were deboosted. It's only our accounts, the anti-war accounts that happened to. So quite clearly, this was a fake reason for deboosting anti-war accounts. And that's what's happened, because if it was about news aggregation, well, I saw, for example, Nick, so he was posting so much and all of his posts were going viral, as was that Eric Doherty. Any of these pro-war accounts, pro-MAGA accounts were boosted significantly. So that just proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that this deboosting that occurred, it was nothing about news aggregation. That was but an excuse. The main focus was at war accounts that are against the war. They've used this ceasefire, the few days before the ceasefire, before they start the war, to go after them. So that's what's happened. But Nikita, I didn't say that. I'm just repeating Casey's words. This is a person called that girl Casey. She may have said that. I didn't say that. This is all from her mind. She gave me a script to read and I just read it. I'm like an aggregator. I'm just aggregating the information.
So
I know,
apparently this
Michael,
guy.
I'm going to come to you in 1 second. I know Outcast wanted to say something, but Velvet Bloom, thank you so much. So people are listening. Velvet Bloom's tagged me into a post by Adam Cochrane, right? And he's saying a Fox News correspondent said Caroline Leavitt's husband told her to be safe before the shooting. This was after Leavitt's earlier comments that everyone should watch tonight because there will be shots fired. There you go.
Yeah, and remember Caroline Leavitt, wasn't she the one of the voices that we heard? Remember those cryptic messages that came out? What was that, last month when we were on the space? Those like 1 second blips or whatever, and I believe her voice was one of them that was in those cryptic messages. So I did see that she made that comment, and I was like, here we go. So it's like this, you know what I mean? Like there's always the setup for all of this stuff, like surrounding like what's going on. Somebody said something. So it's like they give you this mystery plot almost even. And then the last thing to Suleiman, I'll just say is that you're right about the deboosting. And then thank you so much. And then yeah, about the deboosting, I saw that certain people made a poll like in 20 minutes and then it just rose up. I'll take the hits. You could tell Nikita that I said it. I'll take the hits. But again, just ending off with that flailing of the, you know, the lint ragdoll of JD Vance. I'm sorry. That's going down in history for me. That's in the books for me. I mean, that mascara just went from one side to another. Okay, I'm done. All right.
Disavow Beatrix and that girl. Both of these people are attacking Nikita Bear. I'm not involved in this at all. Both of these people are attacking the future president of the United States of America. I'm not involved in this all at all. I do not want my social credit score to be very, very low or negative 100. This is not what we're all about. I think his mascara was looking really good. It was fine. It was probably put on better than any person I've seen put mascara on. It was symmetrical. It was precise. The fading, the color, everything was perfect. Disavow these attacks on the Vice President of the United States of America. Mango Smash, now that you've been able to gather yourself and gather your emotions and realize it's not about a banana peel, what have you got to say? The President of the United States of America was almost assassinated tonight.
Yeah, so first I just saw that Carolyn Leavitt's husband, so she's 28 and he's 60. So they have a 32-year age gap. He's over twice her age. It's a little bit interesting. But the perpetrator tonight was a 31-year-old black man and former tutoring teacher from Torrance, California. And the only picture I could find of him
Please
like he's
mix,
face
please,
down.
okay?
He's
Sorry.
face down. Yeah, he definitely looks like he's mixed race,
Michael,
more
Suleiman's
like
posted
Obama.
loads of pictures of him. Have a look.
Yeah, he looks like, at least from what I could see, one of those like hipster millennial weirdo type people. But this is the problem that happens when you had, and this is why it happened multiple times during the campaign, which was Democrats advocate for violence against all Republicans, especially Trump. When one of these incidents happens, they praise the shooter, they don't condemn it. And this is what you call stochastic terrorism, which is a term that the Democrats invented. And of course, they accuse Republicans of like wanting to do this, but this is their game plan. This is what they always do is they invent an aggression against the right. They say, well, we need to talk about this because our enemies might do it to us. But really, they're telling you they're fibbing on themselves because whenever they talk about this stuff, what they're actually revealing is what they're doing. and they
Michael, let me
encourage
just give some
violence.
news really quickly. Sorry. So, U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro has said that Cole Allen, who was a 31-year-old California teacher, is being charged with 2 counts using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. He's been charged with 2 counts. He was
Yeah,
armed with a
apparently
shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives.
he didn't even get close to being able to assassinate Trump because he charged the metal detector or whatever. So all he did was he ran at some cops, he shot at them. Apparently he hit one, but it hit his vest. So he didn't get, he just got mildly injured or whatever. And of course, the idea that he was going to get through a bunch of cops, fight his way into this big ballroom where you've seen it on TV. It's huge. It's not like as soon as you get in, you've got an easy shot at Trump, and then manage to get to Trump and get him when he's got a bunch of Secret Service around him. Like the probability of his attack being successful was like extremely infinitesimal, and he did it anyway. It's like he just was crashing out and throwing his life away because I guess he wanted to be famous as being one of those like attempted Trump assassins or something. I don't know, but it was definitely a very low IQ game plan. This is what's actually interesting is the guy who killed Charlie Kirk, which is the only one of these guys who's ever been successful. Everyone else has just been a parade of failures. The guy who killed Charlie Kirk actually had a high IQ. All of these other
So did
people are
this
like
guy.
low IQ.
So did this guy.
And so
I
the
don't
guy
think
that
this
shot
guy
at
had a high
Trump.
IQ.
Yes, he did. A top student at Caltech in robotics.
Not executing
Yeah,
his
I
plan.
don't think that's true.
That
Yeah,
is
like
1,000,000% true.
We just already researched it, Manko. You're 2 hours behind.
there's
We're
a
the ones who
post.
put out. We're the ones who put out he was a teacher. Joe found it. We're the ones who put out that his entire history and how he was in robotics and how he gave $25 to the Kamala Harris campaign. You're way behind, lad.
Featured in a Caltech thing, multiple
Yeah.
awards for being a top student, has won challenges in robotics with his team. Um, multiple things.
He actually
I mean,
is
Well,
in
it
line
could
with
be a
Tyler
separate
Robinson.
person with the same name, or it could be DEI.
If God forbid somebody with
Michael,
some
not
fancy.
every leftist or libtard is low IQ, as you would put it, your terminology,
Well, the
right?
one who killed Charlie Kirk wasn't, but all the other ones seem to be.
Well, the one
Who
who killed Charlie Kirk wasn't, and this one wasn't. This is what we were saying, that there's parallels between the two, that both of them were high IQ, and both of them were really smart, and they'd done very advanced, like degrees or whatever in various fields. But I don't
The
think
one,
I think Joe was saying that one thing it wasn't is didn't seem that successful. That despite having such an illustrious career in terms of his degrees and what have you, he was only a teacher. I
the
don't mean
same,
only a
Yeah, I mean,
teacher.
that is kind of a low end it says he was a tutor at C2 Education in Torrance. I mean, this is kind of a low end job. So that's what makes me, well, there's two possibilities. Either number one, that they're separate people, or number two, that if they are the same person, he must have had some kind of personality problems for him not to move on from having a high end education into a high end job. Like maybe he had some kind of thing where he didn't get along with people.
man, because the thing is you have multiple, not the guy, Thomas Crooks, highly intelligent. The guy that shot at Charlie Kirk, highly intelligent. This kid, highly intelligent. Um, all of them have loser jobs. Sorry for saying that, but low paying
Well,
jobs,
but
let's
Crooks
say.
wasn't, he was still a student,
Respect
wasn't
to
he?
all the teachers in the world. I'm sorry
No,
this
I'm not
oligarch
saying
is
that.
trying to disrespect you. Stand with the teachers.
I'm saying that from graduating from top schools with high IQ and then getting low paying jobs is quite strange that all three of them
Maybe he
have
wants
this
to
in
give back to the
common.
people. Maybe he
And
wants to give back to the
you,
people. Maybe he
you
thinks he
know,
wants to be a teacher and an educator,
Maybe we
Joe.
need to
you,
reevaluate what high
you,
IQ really means, Joa,
and
because
you know what?
if you're
You
doing
know
dumb
what they don't
shit.
have in common? They don't
Elwood
have in
Joe.
common. They don't have in common that they're all Democrats. That's what they don't have in common.
Oh, these
Who
So this
are
wasn't a
division's
Democrat?
absolute
retarded.
libtards,
Wait, Joe, who
hardcore
wasn't a
libtards,
Democrat?
throwing away their whole
Yeah,
lives
I'll
to
agree
wait
with
for the libs.
Mango.
The guy in
Hardcore
Butler.
libtards or left leaning.
The guy in Butler was not a leftist. He was
Yes, he
right.
was. Yes, he
but it was
was.
not.
He was very far left. You don't know what you're talking about, Joa. Some people tried to talk about this
He
because his
he
family was
donated to
Republican,
the
but
Republic.
people
No,
repel
that was the
people
guy.
rebel against
That
their family all the time.
that was the guy in Charlie Kirk. He might have rebelled against his family. The guy in Butler donated to Trump's campaign. And now you're going to try to tell me he's a radical leftist and
Yeah,
he's
he
donating
was
to Trump.
actually. He
Yeah, okay,
was.
so he's retarded too, apparently, because he donates to the side that he hates. Come on, dude, don't
No,
be a
no, that's
buffoon.
what you do, and you do this all the time, is you do these like act blue talking points to try to push the narrative to help the left for some reason, even though you claim that you're not a leftist, Joa, but yet you always have the Rachel Maddow talking points, and it's
No,
just not true.
I'm just not a buffoon, and don't think that
Well,
someone
apparently, Joe, you're a
who
leftist that
donates to the
supported Trump and
Republican
probably
Party,
donated to the other
who
side. So
donates
did
to
you
the
support the
Republican
side that you
Party.
hate?
Public, can you be quiet for a second? Look, I don't assume someone who's donating to the Republican Party is a radical leftist, right? That's buffoonery. Right? And you're going to tell me I'm talking about Rachel Maddow's talking points? It's ridiculous, right? But every single time there's a shooting, you come up here without a single piece of evidence and go, "This guy's a radical leftist." You have no idea if this guy's a radical leftist or not.
Yeah,
You have no.
I think we can deduce that from the fact they're trying to murder Trump, the head of the entire American right, that yes, they have a political
In
motivation.
case you didn't know, you have half of the influencers that were on the right now going against Trump. Open your eyes.
Yeah, but they might do that for short-term popularity. That doesn't mean that they want to
yeah,
murder him, okay?
yeah.
In terms of
Not
the
because
spectrum of people who want to kill Trump, the further left you go, the further they want to kill Trump. It's a direct correlation.
So
um
just
really
to let you know,
typically murders are a thing of passion. So typically the person you're closest to, someone who followed you and you betrayed them, would actually have a lot more vengeance against you than someone who
This
just
isn't
hated
a
you to begin with.
romantic relationship, Joa.
It doesn't matter. It's someone you voted for, someone you donated money to him, you believe in him, and he turned his back and did the opposite to you. So you have no idea, right? And that's what I'm saying
Okay,
here.
so I
You come
just
up here
looked
with
it
the
up because
same
this is
talking
like
point.
kind of an old news thing, so I had to
You come
double
up
check
here
it and
with
make
the
sure I
same
had people
talking
sorted
point
out.
every time. Every
Joa,
single time, it's
Thomas
a
Crooks
radical leftist.
donated. He donated to the Progressive Turnout Project, not to Republicans. He donated to in
He
January
donated
20th,
to the right.
2021. He donated $15 to the Progressive Turnout Project, a liberal Democratic aligned voter turnout group via the Act
He
Blue platform. That's what he
not
donated to.
he had even Trump gear in his room. Do you understand? He was a Trump supporter.
He
It is
wasn't a Trump
widely
supporter.
known. Yes,
Absolutely
he
not. He tried to
was.
murder Trump. Why would a Trump supporter try to murder Trump? This is the thing that liberals
Maybe
do
because you
is they tell you
leave.
that 2 + 2 = 5. They do this all the time. The guy who tried to murder Trump, who donated to the liberals, he was actually a secret Trump supporter.
Oh, the guy who married the wife. Why would he try to kill his own wife if he married her? Don't be a fucking idiot.
Well, that's easy because
Right?
she
That
was an
happens all
idiot
the
and she
time.
pissed him off. No, like this idea, jilted lover dynamics do not happen in politics, right? You're
It
not
happens.
like you're not in a romantic
It,
relationship
it
with the
happens
person.
with
And
business
also, when they
partners.
do
It happens with
polling, and I've
business
posted
partners,
about this,
Manco.
Joa, when they do polling, the further left you go, the more they endorse political violence, which is why all of these
Oh,
people
the
have
far
been
right
trying
doesn't,
to
Manco.
kill right wingers. You never see people
I
trying
want.
to assassinate left wing politicians.
Okay, I want everyone that's listening to go look real quick. Put far left violence versus far right violence, and you tell me what the report says. Because the far
Yeah,
right is
you'll get a bunch of political
by far,
propaganda written by
three
leftists,
times. No,
and when you look at it, it's
your political propaganda, and I'm fucking tired of it. Go look at the actual evidence when you want to talk about evidence, right? Go look at the actual fucking facts instead of your bullshit that you come up here and say every fucking time to sow division when the parties don't matter anymore. They don't fucking matter, and I'm fucking sick and tired of it. I'm sorry I'm cursing, but I'm sick and tired of you always, every single time there's something going on, you use it to sow division between fucking parties, right? When we all know, not a single one of us, except for you, still believes that there's some left and right party thing going on that needs to be solved. Only you do. Open your eyes, right? Or are you being paid? One or the other. Please tell me.
Yeah, so Joa just muted me so that I couldn't
Yes, I
talk
muted you
and started
because you kept
cussing.
talking
So
over
I
me.
guess that means he lost the debate.
Makos, did you know that this gentleman was actually he participated in the NASA Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which wasn't far from his house, which is also very prestigious in research centers, one of the best in the United States. He was and that school specifically, that program is known for leading robotic space exploration missions like Mars and whatnot. So I mean,
Mate,
apparently,
do we
and
have
it's
pictures
also
of him
very
there though?
competitive, huh?
Do we have pictures of him
I
there, or
love
is this just?
Lego.
Yes,
Look,
actually. So,
I love it.
well, I was just gonna say that I quote posted a diligence post, which I went and looked and fact checked, but he's got the images of everything too. But my point is that obviously he wasn't like, he wasn't
I
dumb
told
there,
Manco,
but
Suleiman's posted all of those pictures. He's posted
oh,
them. Did you
those.
check? Yeah.
Oh no, about the jet propulsion, I didn't see that. No, I'll look.
Manco
I'll
hasn't
look.
checked.
And
Manco
also
hasn't.
just one other thing that I just wanted to highlight here is that there is obviously something to look into when it comes to that, showing that he obviously is pretty intelligent and it's a very competitive program, but then also what he landed with as a job. So that could either be, it could be many things, but either mental infirmity, social awkwardness, something's going on, right? Like there's something going on, but I do find it really interesting that he does fit that criteria that you'd mentioned, Joa, about, kind of
Yeah,
check
happened. All
box.
three of them are the same. Every single one. And what's not the same is that they're the
Oh, Joa,
radical
I got some
leftists.
news. 1 second. This has just been said, right? Let me tell you. This will throw some light on it. Where's it gone? Oh yeah. The DC police chief, Jeffrey Carroll, has confirmed that the gunman was a registered guest at the Washington Hilton. His hotel room has been secured now, and they're going to do their search procedures. So he was actually staying there. So they hadn't even vetted the guests that were staying there.
That's what I was going to say. They announced that as well. And there's a viral video. Trump posted it on Truth Social. Again, I'm shocked at how soon they're posting all these videos of the security cameras from within the hotel online. But you can see the video. There's several people standing around, and you can see someone doing like 100-yard dash right through this lobby area where the surveillance camera was set up. And literally every person standing there, after the gunman runs by them all, they all basically draw weapons and start running towards the gunman. So it was like every person, there's probably about 8 to 10 of them that were in that room that were on that surveillance video, all were, either some type of law enforcement. And you could see him running, like literally doing a dash. He ran so fast through the lobby, and then they all draw and then run after him. And it was like Joe was saying, like there's no way he was going to get to the president. He hadn't even gone to the ballroom doors. So, and then I just love how it's funny how Trump tries to get the sympathy play out of everybody. Didn't get it out of me, but it's funny how this man, he's supposed to have all this integrity, but of course he didn't in any gesture try to do anything to protect his wife that was sitting right next to him. So you want to talk about a coward? He just played, like you said, Beatrice. He played the old "I need the ballroom built right away" card because it has been stalled because they did stall it. It was either they stalled whatever partial building
Well,
up.
his wife isn't the one making the decisions for the country, so.
Whatever. I don't care if I'm the president. My wife's
Look
sitting
at
next to
public.
me.
He got good at this.
It, if I'm sitting next to
Aren't they all like surrounded by cops anyway?
Well, I don't know. There was, the response on
So he
stage
just
did
married
seem,
someone else. He's the president of the United States.
it did seem genuine, the response on stage, I have to admit, like when they whisked him off stage. But it's funny because even in the press conference, Trump kept on saying how quickly they acted, but other reporters that were there and even in the press conference said the opposite. They said they were kind of shocked at how long it took for them to get him off stage. So you're hearing two different
They
responses.
dragged him off, Art. He fell and they literally dragged him off. But I'm going to give the mic right back to you. But that first point you made, Art, right? I think it needs a bit of emphasis because I actually thought that when Trump put out the picture of the suspect lying on the floor face down, and then the video, I thought, how did he get those so quickly for them to be put out at the White House account so quickly? Like, normally, like these things would have some security protocol. They'd want to do some checks. They'd want to make sure he's not associated with anybody else. They'd want to make sure there's not 2 gunmen or 3 gunmen. You know, is he linked to anybody before they actually reveal all of this? Not instantly they revealed it. Go ahead, Art.
Yeah, no, it's okay, Peters. You can take over. But yeah, the video that they're posting is from his Truth Social account, and it's the gunman running through the lobby. So just a lot of information out there. And again, like just how he was, he was just how he was just trying to exude sympathy. Low in the polls, midterms coming up, Iran war controversy going on. Yeah, okay, maybe this was genuine. Maybe he's just milking it, but there's just something about it that just stinks a little bit to me. And the fact that, again, he hasn't had his correspondence dinner and he criticized it for ages. And then this happens tonight. It's a little sus.
Well, I feel like that I'm not saying, I don't think it's like, oh, Trump was there, part of the planning. We're going to plan this, Trump, here's the plan. I don't think that the people who really run the show in the White House and control things, let him in on stuff. I think that like the stuff that happens, maybe we did see some really real reactions, and then the talking point people come out and say, this is what you're going to promote with this. Here you go. Here's your speech, or at least the talking points in the speech. Make sure you hit that White House, the ballroom. You got to hit the ballroom. We're going to talk about Iran. We're going to make you look like a hero. Talk about yourself. You're really good at doing that anyways. It's not that hard. And then, and then everything else is taken care of by the people who are conducting what we need to see, and that's why the pictures, they come out fast. The people need to see, the president. They're trying to kill the president. He's trying to save the world. They're trying to kill the president. We need the ballroom. So the people who put the movies together, they put this movie together and get these things out to us so we could hurry up and take a look at it. And then they give you your patsy guy. Finding patsies are nothing now. I mean, so many people who are compromised in this country. You just pick anybody out at this point. Discord services and everything to go get someone. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And then Erica Kirk, she gets to get the side pieces of what's going on here, because they already posting saying that she's a hero and whatever, what I mean. Oh, God bless her. And God, God bless her. I'm glad she's okay. I'm glad she's safe. I am not a monster, but I'm just saying, I'm sorry, I have to take my heart out of this stuff because they've been yanking my
My
emotions for
heart
so
goes
long.
out to Erica Kirk, who just 1 year ago
Why can I
survived. Just 1 year ago witnessed virtually the assassination of her husband, and then physically witnessed an attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Just think about the flashbacks that would have occurred, Casey.
Absolutely. The flashbacks is
Yeah.
exactly what they're going to talk about. They're already posting about the flashbacks. It's all set up. I mean, come on. Like, I'm just thinking like how these people think. This is perfect. Perfect. I mean, content for days for her. And if you go against it, you're evil and demonic. Did you going to see these words too?
Let's stop there. It's not going to be content for days for her. She'll get the sympathy. Content's going to be for Candace. Like, Candace got content now for a few weeks. Let's be clear
I
on
do
that.
too. Yeah, for sure. No, we
What
all
did you
got.
say? I do too.
Yeah, I do. I'm not playing around with these people anymore. They played with my emotions too much in this country. Okay, I don't know that I have any more left. Okay, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the word demonic and evil will be floating through this app. The way that, and I am not even Candace's biggest fan. Now, let me just say this: you're gonna see it. She's evil. She's demonic. But slaughtering 100,000 people in what 2 years that's not demonic. That's not evil. But somebody having a criticism, that's demonic and evil. So get ready. We're gonna see it all. All of the shows are gonna play out, and I am here for the content.
Well,
Yeah, by the way, I was able to look at Suleiman's, go through his profile, his posts on this, which is very informative, much more so than anything else I was seeing on Twitter. And you posted his LinkedIn, you posted a bunch of other pictures, all this other stuff. So now I saw that. Yeah, definitely. I agree with Maze. It looks like he must have had personality problems, because he did graduate and start to work in like a tech thing for a brief period of time, like 1 year, and then that ended. and then he was like an indie game developer, which is not the kind of job that you do. So he probably got fired, and he probably couldn't get rehired at any kind of a high-end job, which is why he had to resort to being a teacher or something. And I couldn't explain that apart from it. You know, if you really just don't get along well with others, that's probably what's going on. And then his life spiraled after that.
Come on, Manco. If there's ever been a shootable president, it's President Trump. Give me a break. You know,
Disavow,
Yeah, we
completely
have
disavow.
to disavow
Nobody's
that a little bit.
shootable. We live in
well,
peace and
See,
integrity.
but he's making my point for me, Suleiman, which is this is what liberals do:
Disavow.
is they
no,
want to
Never
shoot
support
people.
I'm
or
not
support any
liberal.
kind of assassination. Shut it down. Shut it down.
All right,
So shut it down, please.
Listen, Nikita, Elon, Google Corporation. This was not me. I'm an innocent guy just listening to this conversation, facilitating the conversation on X. This is an individual with an unknown profile who believes Trump was a hologram called Art Katz, who is basically promoting this abject nonsense. No one is shootable. Completely disavow. Shut it down. Shut it down. Oive, shut it down.
I mean,
Completely not allowed.
it's okay to go in Venezuela. He wants all sympathy. He kept on calling this, you know, it was funny how he projected and said he thinks he's a lone gunman. He doesn't know for sure because he didn't do the investigation, but he's going to go on the limb and say that he was a lone gunman. And he kept on saying how sick of a person he was. But, you know, it's okay to go into other countries and kill other presidents or regime heads or kidnap them or do whatever. Like, this guy wants sympathy, not from me. And I'm not
Has anybody ever tried to assassinate you? For you to know what you would say, like get out on there, like you wouldn't even know what to do. Like, so just
Also, just a
chill.
point of information. I didn't post this out because I thought I could get banned, and I'm trying to be a bit careful because I know like bannings are. I think although I know it would go viral with millions upon millions of views, just in case you want skills on how to go viral, don't you think it's interesting that the President of the United States of America, in no scenario, is able to walk on the streets of America and be safe, and actually in closed events is not safe? Such is the level of hatred for him, such is the level of animosity towards him. Whereas if you look at the government of Iran, whether it's the president or the IIGC or the reformists, all of them just walk the streets of Iran and have no issue whatsoever. So if there's any disconnect, if there's any movement towards a color revolution or regime change, it sounds like it's much more in the United States of America. This guy can't even go to an event without someone trying to assassinate him, and these are in
But
closed events.
Suleiman,
Never mind in these open. Imagine he tried to walk the streets of I don't know, California. What would happen? It's crazy.
in
That's
Iran,
absolutely
if you're some mentally
right.
ill dissident, you're not going to be on the streets. They're going to either lock you up or shoot you.
Well, even better.
Well, this is not true. If you're a mentally ill person in Iran, you will be given mental health support and you'll be given the right medication to do so. Unfortunately, in the United States of America, in order to get that medication, many a times you're gonna have to pay out stupid amounts of money, and it takes people into levels of poverty. I know, but many a people who have to try and get medication abroad just because of the pharmaceutical companies taking advantage of average Americans. Um, yeah, I mean, you can say some of these people are mentally ill, which some of them may be, but some of them politically just don't agree with Trump. And the example I gave is, can he walk the streets of the United States of America? He can't. And this is where you said everyone in America is mentally ill. Well, this is the issue you've got. So I think this is an important point to know while we're covering Iran war and Trump calling for regime change and Trump calling for color revolutions. I mean, I think this seems like it's more of a chance there'll be a color revolution in the United States of America than Iran, just based on abject analysis. Objective analysis. That being
Well,
said,
very
let's get
rarely
back
this
into the
time.
I just want
conversation.
to jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to jump in really quickly. So just two things. Firstly, this Trump actually tweeted out the whole video. And I think you've shared it on your profile, Suleiman. And that's footage taken moments after this alleged quote unquote assassination attempt. And he just tweeted it out straight away. They've not done any forensics or anything. I just think that's a bit strange. Also, there's a profile called Henry Martinez, which was set up in December 2023, and it did one tweet on December 2023, 22nd of December 2023. One. That's the only post on this profile's page. And it says Cole Allen.
It's the 21st actually, which is the solstice. Not to be wee woo, but whatever. I thought I
I'm
thought it was
talking
an
about,
interesting.
I'm not talking
Yeah.
about when the solstice is. I know when the solstice is. I'm saying this guy did one post on the
Right.
22nd of
Yeah.
December 2023 saying Cole Allen. That's it. That's the only post on this guy's profile. And that's the name of the suspect today, Cole Allen.
Yeah, that's wild. I was literally looking at that at the same time as you mentioned it. One of the things, Khaleesi, is that like I think a lot of the people that do this, type of whatever, they do stuff on those specific days. It's like some sort of amplifying thing, whatever. But yeah, I am looking through his post, and there's no. I wonder if all those people that followed him are just because of tonight. Like
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking that as well, Maze.
If it
Yeah,
was,
that's
if it,
1 second.
if you,
Bro, 1 second, because you keep saying things that are like literally gonna get me suspended, so I need to watch if I keep you on the space now. Let's welcome Myron onto the stage. Myron, hope you're doing well. How are you?
Hey, what's up, man? I just joined in. We're live on stream right now. My brother's here too. He'll jump in the space as well. Yeah, no, very interesting turn of events of what's going on here.
What's your thoughts?
I want to know what he says when they talk to him. I predicted what they were going to charge him with. They charged him with almost the identical charges that they charged Ryan Routh with back in 2024. If you guys remember when he tried to shoot him while he was golfing with Steve Witkoff, they got him with the using a firearm in act of a commission of violence, assault on a federal officer. So I predict that they're going to probably add in another charge, attempted assassination of a president. I think it's 18 USC 1751. I'll double check the statute. But they're going to have to probably, try to establish like, hey, what were you doing when you went there? And who were you targeting if he, admits it. But this guy, 18 USC 1751, attempted assassination of or assault of a president or vice president. Okay. But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what he says. I'm going to read the criminal complaint when he gets arraigned on Monday. The case is going to go federal. So it's not going to go to the state. The feds are going to take it automatically. So FBI is probably going to lead it.
What do you think about the assassination? Some obviously in this space think that maybe it's like orchestrated, but obviously I don't think that most people in the space do. What's your thoughts on what happened in terms of the guy's motive, all these type of things?
I don't know. I always try to wait and, get as much information as I can before I make like conclusions. I know a lot of people love to, start putting on the tinfoil hats and say, oh man, I think it's this, this is my theory, blah, blah, blah. Right now, at least from what we see at face value, it looks like some crazy lone gunman, but that can change, literally within a minute. So I know more facts are going to come out, obviously, during the weekend. He's going to get put in front of a judge. I predict that there's probably going to be a criminal complaint filed right now as we speak. They're doing search warrants in California as we speak. So, I always try to get as many of the facts possible, read the court documents, kind of make a judgment once I read all that.
What do you think about him as an individual? I mean, it's interesting that basically, you look at him and he's, I mean, his background seems to be it seems to be a bit indicative of what's been going on and maybe parallels with Tyler Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's a progressive. I saw that he donated some money to Kamala Harris, which that was a waste of money. But and that he's a teacher and he's from California, so there is a likelihood that he's probably leaning left, or a left leaner. Now, it would be I will tell you this: if they start saying, "Oh yeah, this guy is he doesn't like the war, some shit like that, and he doesn't like Trump getting in the war. Now that's when, red flags will start, popping up for me if this is like linked to Iran in some way. But we won't know. But I am definitely looking forward to reading the criminal complaint, because typically criminal complaints have a good amount of probable cause in them, because it's written by the agent that actually does the investigation versus an indictment. So definitely going to look at that. See, that's probably going to reveal how he got to Washington D.C., what they found when they did the searches. Did he leave a manifesto? Did he not? Was there any other co-conspirators? What was on his phone? So that's going to be a treasure trove of like kind of figuring out motive and going from there. But at face value, at least from what Trump said, he wrote him off as like some crazy radical leftist.
And we looked at a lot of the information, and this guy was an extremely smart guy. He was basically featured in Caltech. Extremely, like, seemed like a genius, well, a very smart guy, but then was just a tutor afterwards. So what do you think that was indicative in terms of profile of somebody who maybe would carry out such an attack?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've always kind of realized about people that are very brilliant is, there's always like some other type of defect, right? You don't get blessed with that level of intelligence without like some negative consequences or side effects. Now, obviously, some people can hide it. Some people, can't hide it. Some people do their best to improve on it. But anytime you're gifted with high intelligence, you typically end up being very quirky. Most people I know that have high IQs have like little weird quirks about them. Obviously, this is, quirky at the worst level, but this is what it is. And there's a lot of people that I know that are super smart, but they're just lazy. They don't apply themselves, right? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want to work hard. There's a reason why that saying exists. So, he could have been one of these guys that was smart, high IQ, but just was a chronic underachiever, right? Or got distracted or sidetracked by other things. So we'll have to definitely see what comes out as they continue to investigate this guy.
Riyadh, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. What's your thoughts on the shooting?
Yeah, it's crazy. On its face, of course, I can already see the conspiracy theories popping up. And so I give some of them credit because I suppose they have some weight. I know a lot of people are going to start to say that Trump did this in order to enable more bragging rights or rhetoric to justify the building of the new ballroom. He's going to say the Hilton is not secure enough. We cannot annually have the dinner at places outside of the White House, so on and so forth. And then, of course, he's probably going to use this to his leverage, of course, in regards to the Democrats potentially taking the House in November. He's going to use the same rhetoric as the right has been using for a while, which, look, for many regards is actually true, that the left is violent. We cannot let Democrats have majority control. We can't let them control legislation, so on and so forth. However, that's a far cry from the truth because they're probably going to take control of the House. And so it's going to be difficult. But, it seems like this is just the simple story or the repeat story of a disheveled person from the left who, like my brother said, is probably actually very intelligent. This guy clearly was educated. We were taking a look at his LinkedIn per your post. So good journalism there. And obviously, this is the thing with the left. They're educated people who are really disenfranchised from the public. And, they have these outrageous motives and they effectuate them. And, the situation that we've seen prior with Charlie Kirk around these situations, regardless of whatever you think, it's always somebody on the other end of it being from the left or a progressive or, even a Democrat. So kind of the same story written over and over again. But I mean, on its face, front facingly, this seems not suspect to me. I know a lot of people are probably conspiracizing and saying this is a false flag or this is something to bolster Trump's approval. I think his approval's in the toilet. I don't think there's anything he can do to really try and repair that, as well as the fact that it seems like a Secret Service member was shot. However, I don't know. You can confirm that, but I guess the guy was shot back and they rendered aid. All in all, definitely just seems like the same situation we've seen several times before. Remember, the guy broke into Mar-a-Lago with the shotgun, and then the issue on the golf course, and then, of course, what had happened in Pennsylvania with Trump and the whole ear shooting. So, same thing written in a different way. And unfortunately, this will continue to happen, especially when there's controversial people in office. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? And what did you think about the whole situation? And give me your conspiracy.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I haven't got the conspiracy. That's the rest of the panel. I actually think it was like a lone gunman who tried it. Like people think it's holograms. I won't mention any names, but the no, I think it was an attempt. It's quite clear he couldn't even get past the like security thing, and so it seems like he tried shooting. He went a bit wacky. Obviously, it seems like a guy who was, and by the way, the LinkedIn that was Joe. But in terms of the guy, what he did was he went wacky. If you look at it, he's a very smart guy, but he's only got a teacher role. And one of the things people discuss in the space, which I agree with, is that he's probably got some like social issues. Not, and so you've got these kind of social issues. You've got the thing with Trump. And so he's probably thinking like, yeah, I want to, try and take Trump out and maybe the world will be better or something. So I do think it was an attempted assassination. I think it failed, and the fact that it wasn't something that was like a false flag or something that was an inside job, he wouldn't have been like trying to do it from the outside. He would have somehow have gotten in, or he would have been in a situation where it was like a shootable incident. Like this guy was just outside and tried to, and basically got apprehended. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't think it was a conspiracy, but I know a lot of people do because they've been looking at all the images and videos and they think it
And
probably will
and
be.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, man, is like I'm not against conspiracies, and sometimes conspiracy is the first step to kind of reaching the truth because you've got to ask those crazy questions to break apart the puzzle. But you know, it's just getting too far. I'm going down my X timeline, and the things that I'm seeing is unbelievable. And of course, it's X, right? So that's to be expected. But it gets to a point, and these conspiracy theories, if they run long enough or far enough, especially from people who have big voices or were once considered credible, it really hurts not only the voice of a lot of journalists or political commentators, but whatever faction you're coming from. And this is unfortunately, I'm somebody who I suppose identifies with the right. The issue is a lot of people on the right jump to these conspiracies and it just discredits the movement. So it does become increasingly frustrating to see like a bunch of jibber jabber, lizard theory, kind of shape shifting bullshit that you always see. But no, I can certainly see how people would think this is a false flag, but I think that's false. Real quick, so was the guy shot or was the Secret Service member shot? CNN and several other outlets were conflicting each other for the first 2 hours of reporting. So what's the actual, if you have the facts?
Yeah, the shooter himself was never shot. He was apprehended. A security person was shot. A Secret Service person was shot, but because he had a vest, he was shot, and obviously he didn't get no injuries. So that's kind of basically what happened in terms of that. But in terms of like the what you mentioned about the um about it. Like, even though it could be legitimate, I do think that they'll use it in order for their own betterment. And you've seen that immediately from Trump's press conference to use it to manipulate, like, kind of leverage it. And the example of that is he was trying to get the reporters on his side. He was talking about bringing the country together. They may even say that this guy tried to shoot him because of Iran. Like they may do certain things that leverages the situation in order, and then people will think that it is a conspiracy. And I'm not saying it isn't for sure, but I just don't see much evidence at the moment. But I think people will leverage it at that point, and I do think the Trump administration is going to leverage it, and we're already seeing that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But overall, very, very shocking to see. I wish I could have seen the dinner. Of course, everybody was also, and that girl Casey, I'm going to stop yapping so you can go ahead and get your word, and I apologize. But, what was funny was Carolyn Levitt, before the whole situation took place, she was saying, oh, Trump is going to fire some shots at people today. And of course, hindsight always makes you think that you're seeing something you're not. Because everybody's going, oh, she said shots fired. And it's like, bro, really? Like, obviously, Trump was going to take a dig at everybody. That's what every president has done historically at the White House Correspondent Dinner. It's kind of a comedic show, obviously to honor the First Amendment and journalism and everything else. So, from top to bottom, it's going to be annoying dealing with the news the next few days. But I'm very excited to see the developments and what this guy's motives were and so on. But yeah.
I actually have a question for you,
Awesome. Thanks for
Riyadh.
that, Riyadh. Oh, go ahead. A question for him. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I could ask Riyadh a question. And thank you. That was nice of you to say, but I'm not one of those to be like, oh my God, he's still talking or whatever. But I do want to ask you a question because like, I get it, right? Conspiracy theories, nobody wants to, but how do you think like maybe some people feel like you could to a point where you never get an answer about anything, right? Like Butler, Thomas Crooks, there's a bunch of stuff still surrounding that, right? Not even gonna get into Charlie Kirk, right? So, there it maybe they're like, how do you feel about that? There's maybe a faction of the country that's just like, with literally every event, we will start to ask questions immediately, and now we're just not gonna take your, first hand information anymore because we never get we never get the official answers. So like, what do you say to a person who feels like that about it?
That's a great question. And look, I'm not a person who entirely puts all of my trust in my marbles or eggs in one basket when it comes to the government. You should always viciously question the government and ask questions that will lead you to a greater truth or something that gives a little bit more light or clarity to the situation. However, there's just certain cases where front facingly things seem the way they are, if that makes sense. So there's been a pattern of this. And of course, the situation in Butler was sus, but look, there's been a pattern of far left leaning people who want high ranking political officials, political commentators, or people who are actually in office dead. And so they've enacted on those motives or real thoughts, and they have the capability of doing such things. But, I don't want there to be this wave of overcorrection where because the government lied to us about Iraq or even, 9/11, a lot of things that have happened historically, now we have to attack every single breaking piece of news with this conspiracy lens. It has its place. And so it's very advantageous to use at the right times. But I think it takes a lot of self control and responsibility to discern as to whether the right time is during, an assassination attempt or other times. You got to know when to kind of bring out the tinfoil hat, if you will. But I'm no stranger to giving conspiracy theories credit. It's just got to make sense. And recently, especially like I said, X is victim to this. There have been so many situations where people are just going crazy. Like when the whole Charlie Kirk thing took place, of course, the official narrative is unclear, as well as the alternative narratives. But you got like people saying the security guard next to him had a gun in like his sleeve, and it's like, all right, and people are really buying that. And of course, we got a lot of millennials, a lot of Gen Xers who use our platforms and they kind of fall for that stuff. So it's just important to be honest. People do engagement bait. And so I understand, they're just trying to get clicks and they're trying to get all the raves. But I really do take honest journalism with credible evidence seriously. I honor myself in trying to be somebody who spearheads that or at least is a part of that movement. So it's just not overcorrecting what we've been lied about, but at the same time being able to discern the truth. And, here I don't see. Look, Donald Trump's base, MAGA, is cooked for the midterms. That's obvious. I think that they're going to lose a majority of the seats in the House, which is going to heavily inflict the ability of the Republicans, you know, actual autonomy in passing legislation. Of course, if Democrats are taking those seats, well, then Trump is not going to be able to effectuate his goals. And so maybe somebody will say, "Oh, he administered this false flag attack to bolster his base or his support." I think it's over for that. So I think that would be a fruitless attempt, right? Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, everybody's turned on him. But, and I'm not one to look, if somebody comes on this space, I know I'm going long winded here, but I want to make sure that my position is very clear and understood. Somebody comes on this space and says, "Oh, well, I think that Donald Trump did that because, he needs support and he wants everybody to support him in this war. He doesn't want to lose the midterms." I'm not saying that that person's an idiot. I'm just saying there really is no good or credible piece of evidence or reason to think that yet. It's only happened 3 hours ago. And so I think it's most sensible to work with the facts. And conspiracies gain more credibility, or you have a better ability of actually being able to attack them over time, because that's when the real developments happen. That's when somebody who was a part of the situation that stood quiet for 2 or 3 years actually said something. That's when the FBI or the CIA may declassify something. That's how we've been able to come to the conspiracy theory about John F. Kennedy and actually bring it to light. So it takes time to actually discern as to whether a conspiracy has weight or not. I think for the first 24 to 48 hours, we got to stick with whatever the mainstream narrative is, unless something is super obvious, like, all right, this is a false flag. This is done behind closed doors, this or that, so on and so forth. So hopefully that's a good answer. I'm not somebody who shuts these things down, but you got to work with the
Right.
mainstream news, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right, and because I do like your analysis and the way you speak, by the way. Um, why is it? Why do you think that so often these are highly intelligent underachievers? From the Butler campaign to Charlie Kirk to now this guy, and even traditionally Ted Kaczynski, and you can go down the line. Um, the guy who killed Lincoln, same thing. Why is it always the highly intelligent underachiever that that seems to be part of this?
That's a great question. And look, you've got the situation of John F. Kennedy. I'm completely parallel with my brother's opinion on that. I don't think that it was an honest assassination. Of course, Lee Harvey Oswald, we can throw that in the trash and everything else. But
Well,
you
if
know,
you look,
pattern.
Riyadh, he would be an exception to the rule. He was a dropout and only had 103 IQ. He's actually an exception, and that's why I actually believe it reaffirms that John F. Kennedy was not because of Lee Harvey Oswald, because he's the
Yeah.
only one who does not fit the profile.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. And I'm honestly agreeing with you, and I don't want to be conciliatory here, but I think that you're right. I think that there is this odd parallel every single time we see the same kind of narrative unfold where it's this high ranking person who is killed or there's a hit sent onto their life. And so somebody attempts to kill them from the same archetype, right? Like this socially outcasted, really intelligent, underachiever sort of person. But at the same time, you can also entertain the theory or argument that that's pattern recognition and people who have similar tendencies tend to do the same exact things. And for whatever reason that is, I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that because I'm not qualified. I don't study people. I don't study psychology or anything like that. But my real thing that I'm saying here is historically, if we look at people who are targeted for their political ideologies or people who are targeted for the things they say, whoever it is, Martin Luther King Jr., anybody who has been the target of assassination or actually killed, you know, I have no issue in alternative theories. Matter of fact, they seem to always be more credible as time grows. But when things are fresh, like the Butler incident, like what just happened tonight, I think it's really frustrating when all we get is alternative theories racing through our timeline. And so it's really hard to actually discern what's right, what's wrong, and everything else in between. And another thing, too, is mainstream theories are always going to supplement the conspiracy and give it more weight so long as you know how to dissect it correctly. That's what we do with John F. Kennedy. We don't turn away all of the mainstream theories, but we use it in doses to kind of supplement the actual alternative theory with the CIA and Israel and everything else like that. And that's kind of my spin on it. I like to be somebody who is looking at all sides. And there's just been a lot. I think really since the Charlie Kirk situation, there has been a complete 180 of people who are just completely bought into the alternative theory and don't care to hear anything from the real mainstream story at all. And I think that that's actually bad. I think that that actually can drive people into this spiral of becoming kooks, or becoming people that can never actually make a valid analysis. So there needs to be that balance. But I really don't want to come off as somebody who demonizes these things because, I actually speak about that a lot on my YouTube channel and things like that. But there's just got to be balance. And I see a lack of that these days. And this incident today is a great testament to that. It becomes increasingly frustrating. Hopefully that's like a well-rounded answer to your question.
Yeah, you brought up a good point earlier. Like you have to. I had a conspiracy when this started, which was if Trump was going to go back into the room and the dinner was to continue, it would be the first time in history that happens. Like, unless this was set up, they would not allow a president to go back into a room that's not secure and allowed a person to get close to it. That made no sense. But now that they've changed that and they're not going to do that, I'm like, okay, my conspiracy shot then, because they are not going back into the room. That no longer makes sense, right? But you have to theorize, which is what conspiracies are. It's theorizing. It makes complete sense.
Yeah, and that's not a bad notion that you discern from the beginning too about him going back into the room. So it's look, and that's what I'm saying. You've got to do it in doses, and you've got to fact check it from what you see happening front facingly from the mainstream media. And you go in segments. You kind of take your time with it, and that's how you can actually develop a well-rounded analysis or answer to the situation, or overall viewpoint. So no, I'm not somebody who's like, oh, read the news and that's all you need. But at the same time, you've got to have all facets completely fulfilled before you just jump into your conclusion. I think a lot of people are quick to jump the gun, but of course that has to do with engagement bait and people just wanting to drive clicks and stuff. So you've got to acknowledge that as well. Which, hey, I respect the hustle.
Appreciate that. I just want to welcome Ryan onto the stage. Ryan, hope you're doing well. How are you?
Rather interrupting a trip over here. Odd that Trump and a whole room full of Republicans are saying assassinating people is wrong a month after assassinating the Ayatollah in Iran.
Yeah, true, true. What's your thoughts on this assassination attempt, Ryan?
They planned it about as well as they planned the war on Iran. Guy didn't even get in the building, set off the metal detectors, got caught. Pretty bad plot. Yeah, Trump's poll numbers were like 30% or something, so maybe he'll get a temporary boost. I don't think much of it. It's just like, okay, another failed shooting by another retard.
Yeah, and honestly, this is going to be something that's not even going to be spoken about in a week. You know, everybody's going to forget about it, and then it's going to go right back to kind of the elephant in the room, which is Iran. Unless they develop some theory from this, or you know, they discern that this guy had this crazy memo and plan to carry out more political assassinations, and he's got a team, and you know, they draw this investigative board for people to be entertained with, but I think that this will be brushed under the rug very soon, and people will return their attention to what's present, which is the fact that the U.S. economy is long term on its way down if this war continues.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to say, Riyadh, I've been listening to you. One of the things is, right, I'm just thinking it could be because we know that the guy, the gunman, he was actually staying in the hotel. So he hadn't come in from outside. He had a room. He was resident there. And then it could be that he was just there, you know, out of curiosity. Maybe he had those weapons. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't there to assassinate anybody, because I find it really troubling that, let's just say this was a genuine assassination attempt. I'm assuming it's a fairly big hotel. So therefore, Secret Service, if he was there to assassinate Trump, would have wanted to take him down and make sure there wasn't anybody else staying there in the hotel that was there colluding with him, you know, a co-assassinator. Check the rooms, sweep the hotel, lock it down, do background checks. But what did we find? Within minutes, Trump had actually released the full video of the whole assassination attempt. No gunshots, nothing. From what I know, one gunshot was fired, but we don't know by who, that hit one of the Secret Service agents' vests. They said 5 people were shooting. One of the reporters said 5 people were shooting, but nobody was injured with a shot. And then Trump goes, and remember, this is the first White House Correspondents' Dinner he had attended. Caroline Levitt said before the dinner started that shots are going to be fired tonight, right? Now, let's just say that she meant as in by his speech or whatever, and it was taken out of turn. But after all of this, Trump immediately releases the full video, all his details, and I do not believe Secret Service had a chance to do any checks or sweep that hotel or find out any of this vital information. And then he waltzes to the White House and does a speech about the ballroom, amongst other things. I mean, it just, you can't take it seriously even if you want to take it seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, look, first and foremost, good point. But at the same time, you know, in the midst of pandemonium, everybody's going to kind of say the wrong thing. Like, oh, I heard 3 shots. Oh, I heard 5 shots. Oh, I didn't hear any shots. And so there's always going to be conflicting reports. I don't think that's grounds for really discerning that something is a setup. However, I will say Trump just casually now gains the ability to say, well, this is the whole need for a ballroom, right? Now this is something that he has access to utilizing or weaponizing against Congress and legislation who have been constantly halting his plan, or the judges really in the area. Now he can say, well, look, my life was just threatened. We need this ballroom. Future US presidents are going to have to deal with this grim reality as well. You know, is this Hilton Hotel a good location for security apparatus for a president or a vice president. So that's certainly a bragging right he's earned, and there's some weight in that theory, no doubt. In regards to the hotel and whatever, I don't know if this guy planned it. I don't know if it was just something he decided to do on a whim. I think that he planned it because of the complication of the weapon he allegedly used. But ultimately, I'm not completely opposed to all of those things you said. It's many things that seem front facingly odd, especially right away when you get the story. But I think as time goes on, we'll get a little bit more of a developed idea. Now, in regards to Trump posting the video and posting the picture of the guy on his face, I just think that that comes from Trump's lack of professionalism. He's an egomaniac. He probably has dementia. He doesn't listen to anybody in his corner. If you paid attention, it was supposed to be him. And obviously, they're always late, but out of the briefing room, he was incredibly late to the speech. And when he finally got there, he was reading off of a paper. And so, it seems like there was some sort of plan concocted for him to not say the wrong thing. Previously, when that F-15 jet was shot down, Trump had said many things I don't think he was supposed to say. And so Ratcliffe winced every single time that Trump opened his mouth, that being the director of CIA, because he seems to say things he isn't supposed to be saying. And that's, kind of the key aspect of a president is confidential information, something Trump is not so good at, withholding. So I think that just comes from his ego, right? Like, I'm going to post this guy on the ground. I'm going to be this culture vulture and show that the United States is the hottest country in the world, like he always says. But no, I mean, look, I'm completely open to those theories. And honestly, right now, this seems odd just because of the fact that you would think the Secret Service has anytime the president is anywhere. I mean, they have the block locked down in many cases. It is weird that the guy did get that far, especially with his firearms. I will admit that. But what I'm saying really, and just to kind of reiterate so nobody misconstrues my position, some of the theories I'm seeing online are just wild. And of course, Carolyn Levitt saying shots fired. Look, that is a crazy coincidence to me because look, if Trump was talking shit about all of the press journalists that were sitting down watching him, what are people going to say? Oh, shots fired. Trump attacked this person. Trump attacked that person. So that is kind of like a figure of speech. But I'm not mad at your theory. And I think that there is some weight to many aspects of it. Just the fact that the guy got as far as he did. However, it was a lousy attempt. I mean, he tried, he sprinted past the security and didn't get far. What I do think is weird is we heard shots on the audio and in the video. At least there were several different videos. Heard 4 or 5 shots from what I saw, but right now it doesn't seem like anybody was actually shot. Now, of course, people miss shots, especially in the heat of the moment. It's not actually easy to, get eyes on target or really hit your target when adrenaline is pumping. But these are professionals. These are, security professionals, Capitol Police, local police, and Secret Service agents. You would think that they would hit their mark. So the fact that the guy was apprehended and not hit, I'll say that is a little bit glaring. But we'll see what continues to come about.
Thanks, Riyadh. Ryan, I want to ask you, when I've been looking through timelines, I'm seeing a lot of it's almost instantly sparked a left versus right kind of debate about safety, security, left being violent, right needed protection and stuff. And then I don't know if you managed to catch Trump's speech afterwards. He did mention Iran, random in the middle of this thing. Iran's going to have nukes and they definitely use them and we need the ballroom and all of this stuff. What do you make of all of that, Ryan?
People just take advantage of any kind of stunt that happens and blame it on the enemies they already had without waiting for any facts. That's what they always do. Trump even blames Thomas Crook's shooting on Iran. He had nothing to do with Iran. There was some other guy that recruited 2 Afghanis out of New York who had once upon a time been to Tehran. So there's an Iran connection. The Israelis put that poison in his ear. This is what people do, like the anti-big pharma people will say, I bet the shooter's on SSRIs, and the anti-gun people will be like, I bet he had AR-15 and he shouldn't have these guns. They all just attack whatever enemy they had, preloaded without waiting for facts.
Yeah, true. I mean, just bringing this back to the Iran war quickly, when do you think it happens? I mean, I thought it was going to happen tomorrow, but now after the assassination, it might be a bit of a delay.
No, they'll get the Bush carrier group in place and he'll make his threats. And look, the war never really stopped. I mean, Israel's still bombing targets in Lebanon. I guess you mean like the air campaign between Iran and the Gulf states and the United States. Like, they're not gonna. They're not gonna break. The U.S. is gonna break that if anybody breaks that. I mean, Iran doesn't gain anything by doing it. Right now, they still have the strait closed, and they're not getting bombed. The only thing that changes if there's a war starts is the strait's still closed, but they're being bombed. So it'll be the U.S. that does that. But he had his little correspondence dinner, and he has some things to shore up, and he's getting his carriers in place. But there's no way the ceasefire holds. He'll keep trying to extend it. He even said like, "Oh, I canceled the meeting in Islamabad." It's like, no, you didn't. They didn't show up because a precondition was that you have to lift your blockade. And you put a blockade out there because Alan Dershowitz, lawyer of Epstein, told you to. He really doesn't know what he's doing. But they did give up on the Cargaglan nonsense, which was another, more hot air, the same as mobilizing the Kurds and, the international armada that was going to do minesweeping and ring up in the strait. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just making threats, and he again said they would have used the nuclear bomb if they'd have one. I stopped it. He likes taking credit for stuff out of problems that he invented. There never was a nuclear bomb. There was no 90% enrichment program or any of that. He didn't get the strait open. It was already open before the war, by the way. It's gonna have a toll booth if it does open. It's just Trump being Trump, taking credit for stuff that isn't necessary. Like saying, I didn't start a war, although he definitely has now 3 times. But it's like, that's the default setting. There's already not a war unless you start one. That's not something you have to do. It's just something you have to don't do. But that's how they are. I mean, he's got a very childish administration, a bunch of holy roller end timers and stuff. That guy that tried to shoot him, and we assume Trump's the target. We don't even know. It could have been anybody else in that room too. Who knows? But did anyone check for Egyptian planes? Maybe Candace has something on this. Maybe it was the French. Yeah, I just let Twitter go ahead and get its waves of stupidity out. I don't even look at it when things like this happen because immediately people will go to conspiracies. Before knowing any facts at all.
Yeah, I heard it was. I heard that. I heard there was a French plane, and they accidentally left an Iranian passport at the actual shooting. That's
And
right.
really quick, maybe go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say somebody ought to make body armor out of U.S. passports. Apparently, they're fireproof and indestructible.
And no, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I should have differentiated between that. It's like you got the alternative theories, and it's like, all right, yeah, no, I'm following, and then it's like just the straight like, where did you get this from, kookery? And you're right, you really just got to avoid the X timeline because some of that stuff it just starts to brain rot you to another level. It gets frustrating, but it is funny to see. I must say.
Well, clickbait is monetized, so everybody wants to be first, and just saying something spooky or goofy people will read it and they know it. So if they have an incentive to just invent things, fake news is real, and AI has made it worse. Watch those videos. Suddenly there'll be a loud gunshot that did not exist in the original videos, or whatever. You can do everything with AI now. So that when I see stuff like this, I just go, anyone die? No? All right. Okay. Next. I'm not letting this distract me from the Epstein files and this pointless war in Iran for Israel. Like, that's just stay on point. Don't let the drama pull you in any other direction.
Great point, Ryan. Great point as always. Let me read a couple of these super chats. It says, I'm sorry, but I disagree. Okay, Riyadh, you got a lot of people not happy with your commentary. So let me read
I
all
know
the
my
chats,
chat's
and maybe you
spamming
want to...
7,000. It's okay. I'm an agent, I guess now. So
Sorry?
No, my chat is spamming 7,000 at me. No, I mean, look, it's fine.
But
I'll
let me
always
read these super chats to you, and
go
you can
for it.
cover them all in one go. This is there are no facts, Mr. AI. The only fact you have is what the government shows you on TV. Stop getting spooked when the government drops theatrics. Wow, the FBI agent and his brother are telling people to stick with the corporate journalism and believe it as facts. Wow, what analysis. I see you, Spy.
Nice.
I'm sorry, but I disagree with Riyadh. We have to face facts. Nobody don't like Trump. It's don't matter if you're right or left. Ever since Trump starts the war with Iran. And then the second one is I was not surprised that somebody will try and go after Trump, but we can't say it's all far left. If we go in about it, we have to say both parties. This is why I don't vote anymore. I feel sorry for the people who did vote. So if you want to cover all those.
Yeah, I mean, I hate Trump just as much as everybody in that chat. I think Trump is an Israeli shill. I think Netanyahu has him on a leash. I've said that several times on my channel and in these spaces. So, I mean, there's no secret there. And he's a dumbass for starting this war in Iran and actually omitting his own intelligence assets and then listening to Netanyahu, who visited Washington and Mar-a-Lago like 7 times. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of Trump, as well as the fact that he's using this to distract from the Epstein files. But at the same time, I would be the person to benefit from thinking that Trump set this up to bolster his own image and higher his approval rating. All I'm saying is I'm just waiting for the undeniable evidence, which will certainly come out in the next few weeks. And then we could talk about it a little bit further. But for right now, what it seems like is some deranged person ran into the hotel and, we can't really discern yet, but at least speculate he was trying to kill somebody who was of great importance, that person likely being Donald Trump. That's all I'm saying, but of course, if you follow logic, well, then you're just like a bought out paid person, I suppose. But yeah, no, I'm somebody who depends on the facts heavily until everything is kind of put together and developed. Then, I'll make my conclusion. But it's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I don't mind.
Yeah, appreciate that. Let's go to Andy. Andy, jump in.
Less elegant way to say what you just said is, listen, I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
What do you? I
No,
agree with.
it's like what you're
What do
saying
you?
to the chat. Like they're all just like, oh, $7,000 because you didn't say what I want you to. Nobody knows
Yeah,
why this guy did this yet. I mean, just from
exactly.
looking
Yeah,
at him, I would just, if you made me guess, they're like, yeah, he probably a leftist. He looks like one. But you can't just be like, she's a witch. She looks like one. We're like, he just got faggot vibes. But that's not evidence. I mean, watch it be right. But like, I'm not going to claim I know just based on looking at somebody. But if I'll go, yeah,
yeah,
he probably is. But a lot of people hate Trump. I hate him. I'm far on the right, and I can't stand him. I wish I wish somebody would shoot him, but that ain't gonna happen. And it wouldn't really do anything because it'd just be Vance and crew, and the Israelis are still in charge.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just get demonized for being grounded. So it is what it is. But I have a platform, and I got to be careful what I say because people can always turn around and go, "You said this, that. You made 5 theories," and they all blow up in my face. It's about credibility, especially long term. So that's it. I just steer clear of the nonsense and only play with what is actually factual. And people attack you for it, but it's fine.
Yeah. No, you gotta go with what you believe is rational and cogent. Because people get emotional. I'm not saying these people are wrong in this one. We'll see, but generally speaking, not in this issue, but generally speaking, people get emotional all the time, and they just need a bit of time, and then they end up knowing you're right. Like the problem with the situation we're in is like many of the things that we say well in advance, then later people find out that we were right. Like it could take 10 years or 5 years or 2 years or 3 years or 6 months or a few months or a few weeks. So it's always best to go with what you say as long as it's logical, rational, and not emotional. But let's yep.
Don't you think it's interesting though that so many people, when something like this happens, they all think, "All right, gay op," because that happens so much that even when I think it's gay off in a way, just this is dumb and some idiot tried a really bad plan, whatever. That doesn't mean it was orchestrated. But I think it's healthy that everyone doesn't believe the government no matter what, or at least the US government, because they constantly lie. Like
True.
anyone complaining about this is like, yeah, But you guys created this situation, lying about Iraq, lying about Libya, all the time. You lied about anthrax. You lied constantly. You lied about the uranium. I mean, recently you lied about the Assad gassing. Like everything you guys say is BS. So when something happened, and the same thing with the media. I mean, the mainstream media constantly lying, especially about foreign policy and major events. And so that's why that you already gaslit the public. That's why they, go off into wacko land with Candace Owens and stuff. It's like, and Alex Jones, the types, because you made that a viable alternative because they don't have a place to get the truth. There isn't a credentialed media anymore. You're like, oh, you guys are gonna lie. You know that they would. They've constantly lied about Iran nonstop, and anyone old enough watched them do that their entire life about all these wars.
Yeah, they were a week away from a nuke like 9 times.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
very. I think it's
Mother Jones
important.
did a report on that. 6 months away from a bomb since like 2002 or something.
I think it's important for people to question the mainstream narrative. At the same time, I do think it's and because largely speaking, as you said, they always lie to you, and you can never trust what they say, and they're always trying to manipulate you. On the other hand, you got to be careful as well, because sometimes they'll try and like reverse manipulate you as well. So you gotta, like, for example, do you remember 9/11? 9/11 is a good example. You basically demonstrated that one of the hijackers was linked to Mossad. And if, for example, these other theories were allowed, they actually claimed there was no hijackers and it was all remote control, and then you never would have found out, for example, the link to Mossad. So that's an example of where they'll try and manipulate the zeitgeist with these kind of wacky conspiracy theories or conspiracy theories and kind of lead you down a dark path. But yeah, largely speaking, it's much better than it was before, where everyone just conformed to the government.
Yeah, I always say it was the opening line in one of my books is to not categorically reject or accept conspiracy theories because most people are in one or the other. They either believe them all, is the earth round, like those people, or they don't believe in any. They're like, no way, that could never be pulled off, blah blah blah. And the truth is, conspiracies do happen. I mean, people get convicted for conspiracy. Even 9/11, it's a conspiracy no matter what. Even if you have 20 guys conspiring in a cave in Afghanistan to pull the plot off all by themselves with no assistance from intelligence agencies whatsoever, it's still a conspiracy. So, I mean, we had like Anthony Poindexter and others got convicted of conspiracy during Iran Contra. I mean, that's on the books. It's a real thing. It happens all the time with organized crime, financial crimes. We had Sam Bankman-Fried recently arrested, with FTX. That was a giant crypto conspiracy. Like, conspiracies happen. But that doesn't mean everything is a conspiracy. Sometimes you just have an idiot with a gun. Sometimes there's just a faggot on the roof. A lot of these school shootings, there's nothing complex. Somebody lost it and went and shot their classmates. It's nothing. No one like groomed them or anything. But that doesn't mean that's never happened. Like the Buffalo shooter was radicalized online through Discord by FBI agents. The Boston bombings is another one, but that's another example of where the kooks took over, just like 9/11. Like you have a real conspiracy drowned out by made up conspiracies. And that is one method of shutting it down, is just to saturate the web with kook stuff to where people can't navigate through the ether as stupid and get at what happened. They did that with Kennedy. They put out movies and stuff with retard conspiracy theories. That doesn't mean the official story's right, because it ain't. But the ones that came out, like saying he was anti-Fed and all this other stuff, none of it's true. And when you debunk that, people are like, oh, you're getting paid by Israel? Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, and guess what, guys?
I'm gonna hop out really just so I don't jump out like I don't know. I'm gonna hop out, Suleimana. Thanks so much for having me, bro.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
All right, good night, guys.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. The Lego guys have immediately pulled out with a new Lego movie on the assassination attempt. These guys don't waste no time, bruv. They must be using AI. There's no way they would have pulled that out so quickly.
Yeah, they're
That's absolutely AI. I could make a Lego video. It's very easy.
Yeah, but they put one out as golden. Um, but yeah, that girl, jump in.
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, yes, I did see the Lego. You were the first one I saw who posted about the Lego movie that came out, and I retweeted it as well. They don't waste any time. They are good with that AI. So there's that. The other thing is, though, right? Like, okay, crazy guy with a gun. Definitely, we can take that for sure. You know, a lot of times people high IQ do have various issues of social awkwardness, like you guys were saying, autistic, Asperger's. That's a term nobody seems to want to use anymore, but that's a real thing. My issue is with the other stuff surrounding it, and it just always doesn't sit well with me, because now we have Carrie Lake, who actually posted this like maybe an hour ago. This is Carrie Lake saying that the security was completely like lax, she said that she basically flashed her ticket to them. I mean, I know she's Carrie Lake, right? But for her to say how lax the security was, and she said, with the fact that leftists have been wanting to hurt Trump, she was like, it bothered her how like there was no security. And once again, to me, you have an issue of people surrounding the situation on the other side who are doing abnormal things in sync. It is absolutely abnormal to me that a president is in this hotel, and frankly, that anybody else but the people who were supposed to be at the dinner are able to sleep at that hotel. When I know when Joe Biden used to drive through Philadelphia and this is not a leftist thing, this is the example I'm using because he used to always go to Delaware. And every time he had to drive through, they would shut down the highway where nobody could obviously drive like next to the president, right? And motorcade, everything else. So how is it in a situation like this that this is abnormal again, that security was so lax? It's just everybody just hanging out, just doing the abnormal thing in a time like this, especially a time of war and a time where a lot of people are disgruntled with this administration, right? So that's what makes my antennas go up. How is it that 5 people picked up a dead body and tossed it into, a body, we don't know if it was dead yet, and just tossed it into an SUV in 2026 in a superpower country called America, not in Haiti? So this is what makes me say, well, what is going on that everybody just does the abnormal thing in sync? This is like, to me, I don't know. This security issue in this day and age, that's a problem. That's not normal. And everybody did the abnormal thing again.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, we are gonna wrap up. Your boy's tired. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, for the space, as per usual. Never missing. We've got an awesome interview tomorrow with the one and only Professor Miranda. Actually got psych. Already an awesome lineup for the first few days. So we got Professor Miranda tomorrow, Pepe Escobar, Larry Johnson on Monday, Aguilar and Anthony Aguilar and Matthew Ho and Rathbone on Tuesday. So those are already some golden lineups. Actually, for the Miranda one, I've got 2 titles, right? One is Regime Change in the USA, play on what happened today, or Remove Blockade or No Deal, which is the better title.
Yeah, you're their first one. Your first one.
Yeah, I like that first one too.
Regime change, baby.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's it. Professor Miranda, that'll be golden. Okay, that's going down tomorrow, so make sure you do it. And obviously, we'll get Ryan back. We love Ryan as soon as he's back from his chilling out and prancing about, enjoying himself in the one and only place that's awesome. Not the one only place, but
Oh
one of them.
yeah, talking about T-bills is so fun.
Blood, don't try and make yourself look like a victim. You're going to a beautiful place. I'm
It
already
is a
counting
beautiful
down the days till
place.
I can come back again.
Yeah, we're full.
Not for famous people like me, Ryan Dawson. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So as soon as Ryan's back, we'll get him on as well. But much love to each and every single one of you. Oh yeah, well, I was gonna wrap up. Okay, so yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you check the video out, the interview with other collaboration with Rathbone on the second channel. Make sure you're following the second channel. And yeah, that's it really. Just I forgot to kind of advertise it, but I'm a bit tired. But you get what I mean. Follow the second channel, Moral Resistance. Um, this channel was definitely shadow banned because quite a few of the videos are just flying on there now. So they're hating on us. The Zios took the first channel out, so the second channel is doing golden. Like already, two of the interviews have already flew. And remember, on the other one, it would take a while. So actually, let me just put it in. Let me put it in the nest. So follow this and follow our Discord as well, because if we get hit on anything, the Discord will be the place to be. Discord. Casey, you're good at telling people what to do on this. So there's the link in the nest, which is the Moral Resistance, the interview channel. It's the Discord, and then it's the main channel as well. So if everyone can follow that, and in the YouTube, I'm gonna put the second channel in. Casey, do you want to announce that in the nest?
You got a Discord for the second channel. My microphone's acting up. Okay, good. So guys, on the tweet above Suleiman and Beatrix and Joa, we got some links for the YouTube channel, More Resistance. You guys want to go ahead and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit the notification bell. It's very important. And then the Discord, that's really cool that you got a Discord. And then, yeah, the Discord for these channels, that's really good that you got one. Discord is really good where people can have conversation and talk about what's going on, what they saw with the videos and share ideas and everything is really good. So you guys want to go ahead and hit the link for the Discord. And it's not hard to set it up. It'll walk you right through it. Very easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and hit that link myself. And then we have the other link for Suleiman Ahmed X. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to that channel as well, and then hit the notification bell for that as well. It is very important to do this because, yes, they are working hard on deboosting people who are talking about the real truth. So you guys want to make sure that you are locked in with Suleiman, because obviously you see we get updates in real time with real news, and this is how you fight back to the suppression that's happening right now with the truth. So yeah, definitely hit these links and follow accordingly and hit your notification bells. Back to you, Suleiman.
Golden. And just got another super chat. Says the guy was not crazy. The guy, because Trump told everyone we're not being any new wars, and now gas are going up. And to me, the guy could be one of the supporters of Trump. Like, let's be real. No men don't want a woman in office. Okay, so the guy saying the guy could be like a supporter of Trump who's just not happy with the way he's acted. We'll see the way it goes. Follow the YouTube channel. It's pinned in the YouTube, Moral Resistance. In the X comments, it's follow the Moral Resistance, the Suleiman Ahmed X. You saw it. If you're not following the normal channel as well and you didn't have your notifications on, you would not have known that Trump was going to be assassinated. We had 500 people immediately join the YouTube because they became aware of the assassination and they joined. So have your notifications on in the YouTube, have your notifications on the X, and have your notifications on the second channel, the Moral Resistance, and join the Discord as well. Much love to you. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. We got Professor Morandi coming at 4 p.m. Eastern. So many golden interviews. It's going to be fire. See you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you guys joining in. Appreciate you guys listening. And for sure, we'll see you next time.